Powered by Arkansas, for Arkansas. This is Inside Arkansas Live.
And welcome into Inside Arkansas Live here on this beautiful day here in the great state of Nebraska. I am your host, John Neighbors, alongside Curtis Wilkerson and Andrew Ellis, and appreciate each and every one of you for making us a part of your afternoon this afternoon as we are live once again from DJ's Dugout here in Omaha for the College World Series. Going to have a lot of things going on today. In fact, we're going to make it a little bit of an extended live stream here on Inside Arkansas Live as part of that, as well as the bombastic pregame, because we got Arkansas baseball reportedly maybe happening tonight. We'll talk about the possibilities of what's going to be going on there. But fellas, good night's sleep. Live to fight another day. Here we are once again at DJ's Dugout. How are the vibes today on a Tuesday?
I mean, I'm feeling pretty good. I don't know about you guys, still buzzing a little bit from what we got to witness yesterday, and currently enjoying a little case of the lemon booty from LSU here as things are getting interesting. We're still waiting to see who Arkansas is going to play tonight, and the Bruins are putting up a fight here.
They are putting up a fight. At the very least, the Bruins have forced this into a game that LSU has to sweat a little bit, which helps. And, of course, is a game that they're resuming from last night. LSU, as we speak, is bringing in Chase Shores, who pitched the 8th inning against Arkansas on Saturday. The guy who closed the game, Kason Evans, threw about 75 pitches in this game. They used him a lot. He did a great job for them. LSU, it's kind of fascinating watching this game play out. We've been talking about it a lot, that both of these teams have such opposite approaches on how they handle pitching. UCLA changes pitchers every 2 pitches. LSU has 5 guys they trust. They don't really want to go deep past that. And so you can see it already. 2 of the guys they used against Arkansas, they're using them again. That tells you how Jay Johnson feels about the depth in that pitching staff. And so we'll see if Arkansas can win tonight regardless of who they play, and if they can kind of force the issue with both of these teams who are starting to stress their pitching staffs a little bit.
Yeah, this is kind of what we were all hoping for, which I know we'll have a lot of things to get into today. But when you're talking about Arkansas having to play tonight, of course, last night the game got delayed between LSU and UCLA. That's why you're having a little early morning College World Series action here in Omaha. So it's going to be fun to see how this plays out. And all the Razorback fans are watching this and checking this out because, hey, they will face the loser of this game and what will be an elimination game. So we'll see how all that plays out. But going to be pretty fascinating to see that. And we'll get to a lot of your chats. We'll get into all the stuff that's going on in the college baseball landscape. We'll have some interesting takes and videos and picks. We'll have some heavy hitters as well. So going to have some fun with that. But, guys, before we move on to the next step for Arkansas baseball, I just want to give us a little bit of discussion now that we've slept on it and seeing all the reactions. The Gage Wood thing is still really cool. I mean, it's still really cool seeing here on SportsCenter and everywhere here at DJ's Dugout on TV. It seems like every commercial break, it's either Gage Wood or Livy Dunn. I think one's more important than the other. But now that we've settled in, seen all the stuff, seen the car wash that he's been doing, as they say, across sports, just any additional thoughts and reactions that we were unable to share from last night on the bombastic postgame for Gage?
He's just becoming a global superstar, man. How about that? It's so awesome to see, the rest of the nation be able to catch on to a guy that we've been excited about for a long time. And we know his story, and now everybody else gets to know it. That's very cool. And obviously they've got the LSU-UCLA game here on the big screens, but I can see in the back corner of DJ's Dugout the Pat McAfee show, and at some point here, I know Gage Wood's going to be on that, so I kind of got my eye on it. But yeah, he's absolutely making the rounds, as he should, man. When you do something that hasn't been done since, was it 1960 or whatever, you deserve to get to take your victory laps there. And I'm be interested to see. I think you mentioned this on the way over here, John. Just kind of talking about yesterday, and it was still kind of fresh on the mind, and then seeing what he looks like today. Like, did you get a little bit of sleep, guy? Like, are you answering questions a little bit differently? So I'm excited for him. I'm excited for the Razorbacks. I know the fans really, really enjoyed that. Going to be hard to top a performance like that, but you'll take a win.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, it's a performance that we said last night is going to live forever. Like, there's no doubt about that. We even talked a little bit about some of the national waves and some of the big names. I mean, Patrick Mahomes and all these people tweeting about Gage Wood. Once we finished the show, honestly, that even went ramped up for me, like seeing like Dave Portnoy or whoever, just like random humongous people with humongous followings talking about Gage Wood, watching Gage Wood, a kid from Batesville, Arkansas, and what Gage Wood is representing, that state that he's so proud to represent. That's the thing that, in our business, that's what we love to do. We love to bring eyeballs to the Arkansas Razorbacks. Nobody did that in a bigger, more long-lasting and memorable way than Gage Wood last night. And then again, when you think about it in the context of the what Arkansas needed, Arkansas was in an elimination game against Murray State. The bats are still kind of struggling to get going. For Gage Wood to pitch that way in that moment, I mean, it meant the world to this particular Razorback team. It meant a lot for the program. It meant a lot for the fan base. I'm trying so hard not to be a prisoner of the moment, but I can't imagine there being a better individual performance that we're going to see in our lifetimes, but definitely not, for this Razorback baseball team in Omaha. I don't know how you can top that, but I would love to see him and a few other Razorbacks try. We got to watch the replay of it. They were playing it here at DJ's last night. And we just watched the last 4 innings and just every pitch. We're like, oh yeah, we were watching it like we were watching it live, man. It was a lot of fun to watch, and it's going to be one. Of course, we've got a lot of business to handle here, but it's going to be one that random October nights, I'm just going to throw it on the TV.
Oh
and
yeah,
just rewatch the highlights of that one.
Yeah, and I'll throw in another thing too of just getting to see him and knowing what it means to Arkansas, but it just once again shows. Think about it. One bad pitch yesterday. And he's not doing any of this. He's not doing any of the interviews on Pat McAfee. If he just gave up that one hit, if he had one bad pitch, because I think about Darren McFadden, rushed for 321 yards. Well, if he ended up, getting his final play or whatever, getting a loss, and he only had 315 yards, I think it would still be a pretty major deal. But the difference between having that no-hitter and then having that just one hit, maybe gets mentioned a little bit and saying how close it was, but nowhere close to it. So that's just what's crazy is just one pitch makes all the difference in the world for this team.
One pitch makes all the difference in the world. One pitch made quite a bit of difference when that curveball just dropped off the table and hit that kid in the foot.
Yeah.
And it was so funny to hear him just be like, I shouldn't hit the guy. But man, could you have imagined that? Had that just not happened, had it landed, 2 inches in front and hit the dirt, it would have been a perfect game on top of everything else. Just it's unbelievable. There's so many layers to that performance, man, with just everything that went into it. It's funny that we'll think back about it, and how often when we talk about the 19 strikeouts that were involved with that, and one of them coming because you hit the guy, and maybe he did, maybe he didn't, try to get out of the way, and just so much cool stuff, man, added on to an elimination game, added on to the College World Series. It's just it's iconic, man, and I'm just still buzzing over it, man. Every time I think about it, and it's not like you try to, it just kind of comes back to your memory. You're like, man, we witnessed that yesterday, and it just brings a big smile to the face every single time. And it's probably going to be like that for a while, regardless of how the rest of this plays out. That was a special, special time.
I mean, dude, we stopped by Walmart last night, and we just had to we had to buy an air mattress for reasons. Because Curtis is a big boy, it's hard to throw him on the other end of the couch. But we were at Walmart, and literally the worker at Walmart's like, "Hey," he saw we were wearing Arkansas stuff. He's like, "First no hitter since 1960." He's like, "I didn't even watch it." He's like, "But I was keeping up with it a little bit. I saw it on my phone." And again, it just kind of tells you the waves that it set. You guys mentioned how one pitch changes it so much. That's what's crazy about it is one, you have to be perfect. I mean, not literally perfect, of course, but he had to execute pitch after pitch after pitch, 119 of them. And Arkansas was in a close game the entire time. Mm-hmm. I mean, they went 3-0. It was 1-0 for a good portion of the game. At any point, we were like, holy cow, the tying run's on deck. Or, this could, there really wasn't much margin for error, both with Gage Wood to put together the show that he put together yesterday. But for this Razorback team, man, to not have to be in a game like that's close and low scoring and down to the wire and not use a single arm, I mean, that's a big deal, man. And I mean, obviously, again, it's tough to even talk about this game without thinking about what Arkansas has to do today and tomorrow and Thursday and moving forward. But man, Gage Wood made it a lot easier. And the hope for the Razorback fans has to be that provides some type of spark to the team and really adds to the motivation and just makes this team believe again.
Well, and I'll add the last thing for me, at least about Gage Wood, is, we've gotten to see, obviously that's never happened in Arkansas history of what we saw last night. But, we talked about a lot with Hagen Smith and what he did a year ago and how crazy that was. One thing I got reminded of, I was like, we got to see an immaculate inning this year with Razorback baseball too. Something that almost never happens. And it was Parker Coyle, I forgot who they played exactly. I think maybe Missouri State or something. It was a midweek game.
It was a Sunday game against Charlotte, I believe.
Okay. So yeah, it was a non-conference, but still, was like, man, I thought how cool that was. So kind of seen some pretty cool stuff in Razorback baseball. Hopefully, get to see a College World Series because that's never happened before for Arkansas. But it's got to get going here tonight, and we'll of course going to talk all about that as well as get into your chats and everything as we are live from DJ's Dugout here in Omaha, and it's always a great time to be here. It's kind of been our second home up here in Omaha. It certainly feels that way. But let's go ahead and get in a little what to watch for action presented by our friends over at Bryant Technologies, where they're dedicated to delivering that high-quality network infrastructure and security camera solutions to the comfort of your home as well as to your businesses. They take pride in their exceptional workmanship and the commitment to keeping your business operations seamlessly connected as well as secure. Whether it's structured cabling, security camera installation, digital signage, or TV mounting, Bryant Technologies has you covered, where they service the entire state of Arkansas as well as all of the Arkansas bordering states. So have Bryant Technologies help you with all of your networks and security needs. Give them a call today at 870-883-0330, or you can check out their website at bryantstechnologies.com with that S in between. bryantstechnologies.com. It's Bryant Technologies, quality work guaranteed. So the thing to watch for, guys, is honestly this game that we're witnessing, 8-5. LSU has the lead, bottom of the 8th inning.
Background.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, the amount of TVs here, you could probably see it. But I guess let's play this game because we don't know exactly who we're going to play. It looks like LSU right now. I mean, they're just a few outs away from getting it. But if you're Arkansas, pitching situation, assuming it's LSU, what do you think Dave and Matt Hobbs decides to do tonight?
Well, and also, wait a minute. We're assuming it's UCLA that they play tonight.
Oh, sorry.
Right?
Yes, that's what I meant. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
UCLA.
LSU wins and we play.
Right.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
You know, I really don't think it changes what Arkansas is going to do too much. Both lineups, have different guys, different pieces in it. UCLA has 6 left-handed starters in their lineup, so you would think, oh, they must be way worse against lefties. Their batting average is actually slightly higher against left-handed pitching, but really there's not a ton of separation there, and I don't think it's going to change the way Arkansas approaches it. Same for LSU. I mean, they started Zach Root. They felt good about that matchup. He's a lefty. Gabe Gackle is a righty. Fared pretty well against them. Like, I don't really think it's going to matter too much there. They each have a good mix of balance in their lineups, and really, you just got to go with what you have available. And the good news is for Arkansas, they have so many guys available. I mean, Parker Coyle, Will McIntyre, Dylan Carter, Landon Bidelshees, Ben Bybee, Aiden Jimenez. None of those guys have picked up a ball. Christian Fouts threw 8 pitches on Saturday. He would be very available today. Cole Gibler threw 21 on Saturday. He would be very available today. Zach Root threw 38. He is available today. You don't want to have to use him. And we're assuming that Arkansas is not going to start Zach Root today. I don't think they will. But I think that's kind of an option that they have in their back pocket that I think is, again, not something I'm expecting, but I think it's a decision that they're mulling over for sure.
No doubt. It seems like they're in a really good spot, all things considered. Being here with what they have to do over the course of the next few days, the only way that it could get a little bit dicey for them or they could set themselves back, it feels like, is if you decide to start Cheese and he goes out there and really struggles and he gets you 5 outs and he has to come out and then you have to really piece that thing together without that bridge guy like Gackle who can just come in and basically be like a second starter and give you starter innings. And maybe they could have somebody who can come in there and give them multiples and stretch it out a little bit. But more than that, I worry about, and I hate talking about this, but the weather and how that could impact things. We saw it with Ianson yesterday. For LSU, he started to settle back into that game. And then you've got the long delay, and then it winds up getting postponed. Obviously, they're not going to go back to him today. Now, he'll probably be available. He'll probably start for him if they have to play Thursday or something at this point. I don't know what his pitch count was, maybe in the 40s or whatever. But that's something that could impact you a little bit as well. Maybe not if they had this same situation go down where it's like a long delay and then you play in the morning. But with it just seems so scattered right now that it could be like, hey, you have an hour and some odd minute delay. And then you don't want to bring your guy back out there after he got cold. And then you bring somebody else in and you play a couple innings and you have the same situation play out again. And that's the kind of thing that could balance that out a little bit and be a pain in the butt for you. And then if you're in the situation these teams are in tomorrow where you got to play 2 in the same day or whatever. So Mother Nature was kind to Arkansas in a way with how this is working out today. But they could also return the favor if we get more weather tonight. It's going to be interesting to watch.
Yeah. And then on the throw onto that, it's almost like the question of, where you're at right now. We don't know what the weather is exactly going to look like, but if you're in it right now, if you're Arkansas, would you guys rather have it to where you run the risk, you play tonight, you start the game, but you run the risk of having something similar where it cuts in the middle and you got to do it the next day? Or if you knew that the risk was there, would you just say, hey, let's just play tomorrow morning? I mean, what's the approach there?
So, you and I were talking about this last night because we saw, a few LSU people tweeting out how they felt like the NCAA didn't handle this correctly. Which again, I think that's always our go-to automatic default is, hey, the NCAA sucks and they screwed everyone. In this case, I really don't know what the NCAA was supposed to do, especially last night, because none of us knew the weather was coming. And now, obviously, you should say, hey, they should have a great meteorologist on staff, blah, blah, blah. Sure. But in terms of the game starting and then them delaying it when they did, and, they didn't want to resume it, and I don't think they could resume it in the middle of the night, which it didn't stop raining until a little after midnight. And so I don't know what they were supposed to do there. I guess if you're an LSU fan thinking, man, they should have just not played at all, would that be that much of an advantage? If you played full 9 innings today, and now, of course, LSU looking like they're going to win, so maybe it doesn't affect them as much, but, like, is that much better? I'm of the belief that you got to get in as many innings as you can when you can get them in, and I think that's how the NCAA is going to approach it. I wouldn't say it's an ideal circumstance, but I think if Arkansas can get in 4 or 5 innings today, and then even if they, delay it and they end up having to come back tomorrow, I would still probably rather that. One, again, it just kind of gives you a chance to mentally reset, refocus. Arkansas, from a pitching standpoint, again, we've touched on it a few times. Like, Arkansas is in such a good spot. It really, they're kind of equipped to handle this. One, just with the depth they have, but also with who they haven't had to use. And the team that they're going to have to play tonight, whether it's UCLA or LSU, is going to be in a much worse situation than they are in terms of approach and handling this kind of thing. UCLA, I'm at the point now where I do not know what the hell their coach is doing in terms of they're turning to their closer who threw on Saturday and has 8 saves. He's been their guy, their best stuff out of the bullpen all year. They are turning to their closer down 3 in the 8th. They're treating this like they're trying to win this game, which, look, obviously that's what you do. You play to win the game. But UCLA is like emptying the tank trying to win this game here tonight. I think that they realize how dire of a situation it would be if you had to play tonight. And so I think that's an advantage for Arkansas. And so if you get in 4 and you play, have to come back and finish it tomorrow, not ideal, but I'm not going to be sweating too much about it. And ultimately, all of us have to deal with the weather. Yep. And so every fan base wants to complain and act like they're the one that's getting screwed. By the end of this thing, we're all going to have to get in the mud and deal with these circumstances and just do what we got to do.
Yeah, and I hope that the weather ends up just, being nice, and it would be great to have a game tonight, no matter what. But, you can only control what you can control. So either way, Arkansas, they won't have there's not going to be any excuses. And in fact, you were talking about LSU complaining about it and all that. Here's the thing. If LSU wins this game and they go on to win and go to the finals, I guarantee those LSU fans are not going to remember about that crap that they got from getting that game. But it's only if you lose. And, that's the only time it's a problem is if you lose, then suddenly the weather becomes an issue there.
Yeah, if you lose, you have an excuse.
Right, right. I mean, for crying out, I still bring up the Oregon State Arkansas finals in 2018 and how Oregon State got an extra day of rest, and it was unfair because Arkansas lost. But if Arkansas won that College World Series, I would never think about that again. It's just the reality of it. But either way, you got I guess technically 2.5 games today that they're going to try to fit in. And again, for Arkansas, you feel like you have an advantage. You went through the pitching amount of people there that Arkansas can throw out there. And, also you're talking about UCLA trying to win this. I'm not going to try to look at it this way, but it's almost like the biggest compliment to Arkansas. It's like, you guys are that scared of them that you feel like, hey, if we don't beat LSU, there ain't no way we're going to be able to beat Arkansas in an elimination game.
I kind of get the feeling this is just what they do. Yeah. Like if we were looking at their pitching staff earlier, and you have so many guys out there who have thrown, however many innings, and they have a ton of appearances. It's very, very interesting. And I know they have, 3 starters that they go to routinely that have more innings than other people. That's going to be natural. But a bunch of guys, it feels like, in that 20 to 30 inning range. And, man, they just don't seem to care about, throwing out 6, 7, 8 arms over the course of one 9-inning game. And, and then on top of that, like there's no – I mean, they're going to have to, but several of these guys who've pitched right now would pitch tonight if they play this game. It's just they just operate a little bit differently than maybe we're used to seeing. It's kind of fascinating. I was kind of comparing it to like the Little League coach. It's just it's a little bit of a different way to do things. And I guess sometimes it could be effective. Like you see how like major league staffs have to alter the way they approach things in the postseason. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's unique.
It definitely is unique. And, I think we were talking about it earlier that I part of that, and it is what they do. Like, this is just how they operated. I had a guy from Los Angeles yesterday who was telling me, cause I was like, I didn't go into this tournament like knowing everything about UCLA. I just was going to figure it out when Arkansas had to play them like a normal adult. But this guy was telling me, he's like, yeah, UCLA, man, they just, every single game, it's a complete Johnny Holstaff. They used 6 pitchers in their game on Saturday against Murray State, where they wound up winning 6-4, used this closer that they're using now to close it out, who just gave up a huge insurance run to LSU to make it a 9-5 game. But no, they had their Saturday starter threw 2 innings yesterday, and he got pulled before the rain delay because he just didn't have a good outing.
Mhm.
Their Sunday starter threw 2/3 of an inning on Saturday, came back and threw 5 pitches on Saturday, and then came back and threw 2/3 of an inning today.
Jeez.
They threw a
wild.
guy, Cal Randall, who's really good. Ian May's another guy. 13 pitches on Saturday, 16 pitches on Tuesday. Their best bullpen ERA, Jack O'Connor, threw 14 pitches on Saturday, 15 pitches on Tuesday. August Souza, 21 pitches on Saturday, 13 pitches on Tuesday. Their closer, he threw 18 pitches on Saturday. We'll see what he does today. He's thrown 7 so far. It just seems to be like how they want to approach things. I don't know how many of these guys will be available today, but really, they're not the type of team that's going to like. And again, LSU's approaching it the exact opposite way, where they found a guy, their freshman, number 3 guy and closer in Kason Evans. He had it. He had it, and they could tell that he was rolling. They just rode him. And Arkansas, of course, did that with Gage Wood yesterday. And we said yesterday, or I guess it would have been Sunday, we were doing that thing where we were like trying to plan the pitching. If you find someone that can get outs, go until he can't go no more. That's kind of how you have to approach it. UCLA, they just piece it together, man. It doesn't really matter to them. And I think that if Arkansas were having to beat them twice, I would feel a lot better because that style gets worse as you get throughout the weekend. Like it's not really a sustainable thing you can do. Whereas LSU has 5 guys they like. They're going to pitch the hell out of those 5 guys, and we'll see if they're able to sustain that as well.
It's almost like maybe not the exact example, but UCLA is kind of like the baseball version of 40 minutes of hell, where everybody just instead of playing 30, 35 minutes in a basketball game, they're playing 20 minutes, and they're just rotating people in and out, trying to keep them as fresh as possible. But, I mean, hey, listen, they're in the College World Series, so obviously it's done a little bit of good for them this year. But facing elimination as bases are loaded with 2 outs, I know bottom of the 8th, so UCLA is going to have another chance at it, but down by 4 runs. So if they don't get this guy out, I mean, it's going to be tough no matter what to score 4 runs plus, but still. It's definitely looking like LSU, if Arkansas is going to win tonight or tomorrow, whenever it gets played, looks like LSU is going to be more than likely the team they got to beat twice.
I think that's definitely, if you're going to bring in your closer for his second outing of the weekend and you're going to do it while you're losing, you don't want to add to that lead and then have it really blow up on you, because I don't know mentally how you really recover from that. We'll see if he's able to get Michael Braswell out, but it's just fascinating. And we can talk about some of the names, but with UCLA, you just have to be prepared. They're going to throw 6, 7 arms at you. They're going to treat it like it's a bullpen session, and they're just going to roll out there. And this time of year, honestly, I can't even say that's a bad thing to do, but they treat every game like it's an elimination game, honestly.
Yeah, it's been treated the same for sure. We'll continue on here with Inside Arkansas Live, but want to let everybody know and give a huge shout out to our friends over at Macadoodles, fine wine, beer, and spirits, not only here in Omaha, but all across Arkansas, because they are that local Arkansas favorite brand. It happens to be here in Omaha, the host city of the College World Series, of course. And the store up here in Omaha is managed by a University of Arkansas alum. Got a chance to meet Noah. Great guy, great people over there at Macadoodles. Really took care of us. And we also had a chance to meet Don Richards of Macadoodles yesterday in person at the Razorback game. Awesome people. And, they love the Razorbacks. They love Arkansas. So if you're looking to get some beer, wine, and spirits, there's only one place to do it, and it's Macadoodles. Oh, my goodness gracious. I thought he hit a grand slam, but that's okay. I'm going to feel like Rick Schaefer over here just calling a single like it was crazy. I'm sorry. It looked good off the bat.
It's Omaha, man. It always looks good off the bat.
That would have been gone at bomb for sure. But either way, we appreciate Macadoodles, though. And as a reminder, folks, all you Razorback fans that are here up in Omaha, they are giving all you Razorback fans free ice. So they ain't doing that for anybody else. Just for you Razorback fans, free ice, as well as giving out, or I shouldn't say giving, but having available for purchase Busch Light 30 packs as low as $16.88 with the purchase of $20 as well. They're proud to be hosting all of the College World Series people here in the Omaha area. But go out there, get your beer, wine, and spirits, and load up, because we're hoping that Arkansas's got a few more games left in them here in Omaha. So check them out today. We really appreciate them here in Omaha and at Macadoodles. So also, guys, real quick, too, something else that I know people are going to be bringing up and as far as tonight. In fact, I guess I got a text from guy Matt Moscona. He was asking about who do you think Arkansas pitches tonight? And I was just like, Landon Beidelshees.
Every
with that,
LSU person that texts me, I say, I'm not telling you our secrets.
should start doing. I should just give him like a random name. Just be like, I think Hunter Dietz. Just like somebody that's for sure not going to start. But let's just say if it is Beidelshees, confidence level in him? Like, how do you feel if that ends up being the guy?
So I'm going to say 7.0.
Okay.
And here's why I'm saying that. One, Landon Beidelshees has pretty good stuff. I mean, the arsenal's there. I mean, he's lefty, 93, 94, can mix speeds, has a changeup, has a really good slider. I like the stuff. I like this ballpark because, I mean, his one flaw this year, he's given up 14 home runs. That's like the one thing.
Yeah.
It's just a little oopsie on his resume. He gives up a lot of home runs, and as we know, nobody's ever hit a home run at Charles Schwab Field, and so there's no way he's going to give up a home run tonight. I like that. I mean, listen, but seriously, though, fly ball pitcher, I'm okay with him in a fly ball ballpark. I also think he's looked a lot better the last, I'd say, month or so. I think that move to the bullpen helped him reset a little bit. Now he's returning to a starting role, so maybe you're going to say, oh, well, is he going to be able to carry that? All that's fine, but really, this is not the start that he's used to having where it's a try and eat 4, 5, 6 innings. Arkansas is going to treat this like a bullpen game.
Yep.
That leash is going to be very short. And so, look, if he runs into trouble, go get him out of there. I mean, you have a lot of guys ready to roll. A lot of the guys, Aiden Jimenez, who is another starting option for Arkansas, he was up in the bullpen yesterday. Parker Coyle was up in the bullpen yesterday. I would imagine those are the first 2 guys available today, righty, lefty. Like, that's where you would go with that. I think Landon Beidelshees is a strike thrower, which is big. I mean, that's always what you want. And we talk about getting a guy who could maybe get into a rhythm, get into a role. I think Landon Beidelshees, the way he works, I think he kind of fits for this ballpark. I could see him kind of giving Arkansas 3, 4, 5 innings, but the leash is going to be very short. And the reason I have that confidence level so high, despite him not having the best year so far, is because of what Arkansas has behind him. I think if he struggles and shows any sign of weakness, they'll get him out of there pretty quick.
Yeah, he will have the quick hook for sure. What'd you say, 7.0? Your confidence
Oh, yeah,
level?
that's my confidence level.
I go 6.9.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay, all right.
7.1.
There we go.
So I'm going to do some Price is Right type of stuff here. Okay, I'm about sick and tired of seeing this stupid tiger that's out here, man.
Yeah, I'm done with
I don't know what's worse.
Mardi Gras Mike.
Like Livy
They
Dunn
just
or the
showed him on
tiger.
TV too, and I was just like,
Which would you rather not see anymore? The big old tiger going around or Livy Dunn? I think I know my answer.
I think
already.
I'm sick of the tiger.
You'd rather see the tiger go
No.
or stay?
I want the tiger to go.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm the same way.
I would rather look at Livy Dunn. Is that the question?
Yeah. That's
Okay.
You'd rather have
For
to
sure.
see her a few more times.
That stupid tiger is the first thing I saw when I got to Omaha yesterday, and I've seen it like 100 times. I'm tired of it.
It's
It
so
just drives
obnoxious.
circles around here.
I
It's
know.
on my nerves, man.
And I think they blare calling Baton Rouge, right?
Yeah,
They do. And it's not the Garth version. It's like some kids'
right.
bop version
What
of
the
it.
crap are
And by
y'all
the way,
doing,
your team
man?
is playing right now. Like, park the freaking truck.
I
and,
saw someone.
you know,
Someone was in our chat earlier, and I'm like, dude, y'all are playing a game like literally as we speak, and you're in our chat,
spamming the
bro.
chat. Yeah,
Yeah.
what are we doing, man?
Because they're probably going to say, "Oh, because we're not worried. We're not worried about this game." Well, baseball's a crazy thing. I can tell you that. But yeah, it's obnoxious. It sucks that so many LSU fans are here, and it looks like LSU's going to win, which really sucks. But that's kind of part of it. It's just part of it. But I tell you what, let's go ahead and jump into the chat. And it's presented by our friends over at Basis Health, where they are changing the way healthcare is delivered by providing mobile medical visits to the comfort of your very own home, where a doctor will come to your home for urgent care, primary care, IV hydration, and so much more. It's Basis Health. They are here for you when and where you need them the most. You can learn more at basishealth.org today, or check out that QR code over above Curtis's head over there, and they'll be able to help you out there as
Goodness
well.
gracious.
Yeah, it looks like UCLA is just gonna bounce out.
I mean, just
and lose this
rolling
one.
ground balls out there.
Yeah.
Chase Shores is only going to have to throw 9 pitches to get this game.
That's just disgusting. So
We're gonna avenge 95 tonight, boys.
that's right. That's right. do it for Nolan and the boys.
That's right.
Yeah, it's just that stupid Jim Herrick who came in and got that that national championship. So yeah,
When's the last time Arkansas UCLA played in anything?
that's what I was trying to think of it.
You said that earlier where you're like, Arkansas hadn't had good luck. And I was like, oh, yeah, obviously 95. But I'm like, when's the last time they played in anything?
Was that the last meeting in basketball? Well, I can find that out real quick. Have they played in football?
They played in football they played Troy Aikman in the Cotton Bowl and lost.
Oh,
He was
yeah,
at
okay.
UCLA.
Okay.
So that was like in 1980 or whatever that was, 85, something like that.
And
But
then in basketball, they played, 95. That was the last game.
well, in baseball, have they played recently?
I don't
I don't
know.
think
I don't know, man.
So it could be
The
like
biggest-
literally 30 years since they played UCLA in any sport.
The biggest battles for Arkansas and UCLA have happened in recruiting. With,
Yeah.
of course, Madden Iamaliava. That was a big win for Arkansas and then a big loss for Arkansas.
Nico.
Also that receiver that nobody learned his name, and we will never remember him.
Yeah.
Nico. I think there's the receiver,
Jaden
Jaden
Wilson.
Wilson's over there.
Yeah.
Also, Gabe Gackle. was at one point a UCLA commit.
No way.
He was. And then he decommitted. And then Ryder at this point was already committed to Arkansas. And Gabe took 2 visits, Texas A&M and Arkansas. Shout out to Ryder Helfrich, who convinced him. He's like, dude, because he tried to get him to commit to Arkansas initially. He commits to UCLA, wants to stay home. All right, whatever. And then he decommits, and he's like, all right, seriously, this time you have to commit to Arkansas. And even after his visit to A&M, he's like, no. You're coming with me to Arkansas.
Yeah. I'm sorry, and I know you brought Jaden Wilson. Didn't they have another player that from football that transferred to UCLA, like a defensive lineman or something like that?
Nico
Is it okay?
yeah.
When you said Nico, I'm sorry. When you said Nico, I was thinking
thinking
like
of Nico
I was like,
my bad.
That has nothing to do with Arkansas. So there it is, ball game.
It is official. Arkansas and UCLA will play tonight at 6 p.m., weather permitting. It'll be an elimination game. The winner will go on to try and beat LSU twice.
Mm-hmm. How do we feel?
Bruin. Nom, 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 nom. You know what I'm saying?
You say Bruin?
Yeah.
Something to Bruin with the Bruins. Okay, so how do we feel now? It's UCLA.
I would have liked him to make Chase Shores work a little bit more, but listen, I think Arkansas has a good chance to beat UCLA tonight. I really am kind of confused by how it's played out with UCLA and some of the decisions they made in this particular game. I genuinely do not know who they're going to start tonight on the mound. We'll have to wait. We don't know who Arkansas is going to start for sure. We haven't gotten that announcement yet. I don't expect it to come anytime soon during the show. UCLA, I have no clue who they're starting because all 3 of their weekend starters have already thrown, one of which has thrown twice. I don't know who they're going to start, but it's going to be a Johnny Holstaff bullpen type of game. We'll see if Arkansas can get the bats going, man. They're not going to be able to face one pitcher for a long time, so maybe that's going to hurt them. But I would imagine over the course of the 7 arms they're going to face tonight, they'll be able to hit one of them, right?
You would think.
Well, I hope so. And that, I mean, you said it right there for me. And it's listen, and UCLA's earned the right to be here, and they've had a great season, and they're capable of beating Arkansas in a 9-inning baseball game. There's zero doubt about it. But this is, to me, a lot more about Arkansas and what they're doing here, and just getting the bats going. And by getting the bat, yeah, I know, because I saw there were people in the comments yesterday. It was like 10 hits ain't nothing to sneeze at, there, boys. I get it. Score some damn runs.
Yeah.
Okay. It's time to score some runs here. This is the stage of the College World Series, and you're very rarely gonna have those huge outbursts. I know Arkansas, but they had one against Stanford a few years ago.
Yep.
Like every now and then, but for the most part, if you can get in that 6, 7, 8 run range, then you're in a pretty good spot there. I would love to see Arkansas get that at a minimum. Like it's time to start scoring some runs. And your staff has carried you so far, and maybe they could continue to do that. But don't put all that pressure on them. Help them out a little bit. Let's what do they call it? Complimentary football. Let's play some complimentary baseball here and get it done tonight.
Yeah, and also throwing in the fact that if I would have told you before the College World Series started that Arkansas in their first 2 games were going to score a total of 4 runs, you're probably like, oh, they went 0-2.
Yeah, they're out of here.
Yeah,
right.
so 3 runs ain't going to do it for many games left in the College World Series, Arkansas. So, yeah, you're going to have to find a way to start scoring some runs.
If you told me they were only going to give up 4 runs in the first 2 games,
That's
I'd have been like,
true, too.
damn,
Yeah,
they're in a good spot
Yeah.
here. But no, it's very interesting. I mean, look, the one thing about Arkansas, and look, the park is what it is, and we're doing this whole thing about how you can't hit here and all that, and it is a bigger park. It plays bigger. At the end of the day, it's more about who you're facing on the mound. Those teams that hold you down, and Arkansas faced a really good pitcher in Cade Anderson, where you kind of understood. They faced a pitcher yesterday in that Silva kid who really did not shut them down. They just couldn't get things going against him. That was the one that really frustrated me.
Yeah.
There's no question about Arkansas's capability of, like, can these guys hit? All the guys that every day in the chat you guys come and you're like, oh, this guy sucks. Oh, this guy sucks. All of them are good. All of them are going to be playing baseball for the next decade. Hell, like, Brent Iredale's hitting 7th in this lineup, and he's a top 150 prospect. Like, all of these guys are good. They have hit any type of pitching you can face this season. Like, Arkansas has faced pitchers that throw 88. They've hit them. They faced lefties that throw 98. They've hit them. They faced righties that throw 96. They've hit them. Like, Arkansas has hit every type of pitcher you can imagine at one point or another. They're just not doing it right now. They're not living to that standard that they have set. And I know a lot of people have been doing the thing where, you see Arkansas hitting Omaha and they're struggling to get things going, and you say, man, it's just same old Razorbacks. It's the same old Hogs every year. Well, this team has not been the same old Hogs. Like, all year long, they have been hitting at a higher level. They've been one of the best offenses in the country. They are the most dynamic offense left in this tournament on paper, and that includes LSU. But you got to go out there and play like it. You got to go up and live to your standard. Tonight, the most important objective is Arkansas getting that confidence back in their lineup because they're hitting a little timid right now.
Yes.
They're missing pitches that they would not normally miss. They're taking pitches that they shouldn't be taking. They're kind of in between. It's almost like they're trying to hit 4 pitches at once. They need a mental reset. They need to just have a day where, like we said yesterday, the ball goes through the net. You need to just have some of those easy ABs, those easy, swings that get you going a little bit. But it seems like everyone feels the weight and the pressure. And as it is when you're a batter that's struggling, you're trying to get 4 hits in one at-bat, which, of course, you can't do. It really just needs to start with good at-bats. We'll talk about the hits, we'll talk about the runs, and we'll evaluate it. But there's a big difference between a ground ball on the first pitch of an at-bat and a ground ball after you work 6, 7, 8, 9. And I think that's what's been missing. Aside from the swings and the homers and are they going to hit the ball in the gaps, are they going to bunt, are they going to do all this, I just missed the good ABs where it felt like they were fighting the starting pitcher.
Oh, my gosh.
Where it felt like the starting pitcher was stressed out the whole time. There's been way too many comfortable innings from these pitchers that Arkansas's faced in Omaha. And again, Cade Anderson is a little bit separate. Like, that's a separate thing because that's a unique situation. But what Arkansas was doing last night in that game, there was 3 times where Arkansas went 3 up, 3 down against whoever the hell, Murray State. That's who they played yesterday.
Yeah.
Like, that should be a complete anomaly, rare occurrence. And in the regional, that's how it was. When they were playing Creighton, it was like every inning there was something going on. I just want to see that fight from the lineup, man.
Yeah, I do too. I want to see something. In fact, I was on Danny Cannell's show. No big deal this morning. But anyways, doesn't matter. Most people don't know who he is. But either way, he asked me, he's like, do you think this will inspire the rest of the team with the way that Gage Wood plays?
Yeah,
I was like,
probably not.
I was like, well, my good. If it doesn't, then what? I was like, what else you want? Like, what else will it take for everybody to get motivated and inspired for something like that? I mean, it's not that it's a bad question. It's just like if they need something else, like what could be more so than a no-hitter? And a guy like Gage Wood getting all over the national landscape of sports. Like, I don't know what else it's going to take, but
sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say it's I think you're onto something there for sure, Andrew, with the amount of pressure that Arkansas's lineup was just putting on opposing pitchers. Like, you guys remember, you could see from our seats, like, the beads of sweat on the Creighton pitchers' foreheads, during that regional. And, like, Liam Doyle was never comfortable. The Phillips kid was never comfortable. It was every single inning. They were having somebody's on base. They're working counts. Oh, 2 outs, and you feel like it's going to be a 1-2-3. Nah, here's a base hit. Now your booty's puckered, and there's a walk, and there's runners in scoring position. It was every single. It's just relentless, man. Would love to see some more of that. And people always do the thing where it's like, oh, when so and so gets to Omaha, it's a completely different team. Arkansas gets to Omaha, it's like, it's not what we saw the entire season. This isn't the entire season. Yeah. This is different. There is more pressure. The stakes are higher. It is a different ballpark. The magnitude of it is so much greater. There is an adjustment period. People say, just keep doing what you're doing. Why are they playing tight? Because of the moment. It's a real thing, and everybody goes through that. And the way to get past it and to get over that hurdle when you're here is to have a few things go right for you. It takes that one big hit or that one big inning, that crooked number, and then all of a sudden it's a domino effect, and that's what we need to see from them tonight for sure.
2 things. I think that you make great points there, and I think that what the pitchers are doing against you and the level of, one, the execution that you see, because, I mean, pitchers at this time of year, they're a little bit more dialed in. They've been kind of preparing. They've been waiting for this time of year. You're getting a fully unleashed version of a lot of these guys, especially when they're well-rested like Anderson was on Saturday. And, of course, teams are not approaching these games the way they do a regular season. Whereas, think about those outings where Landon Beidelshees would go 4, 5, 6 innings and give up 4 or 5 runs. He's not going to have that opportunity tonight. Yeah. And if Arkansas is approaching it that way from a pitching standpoint, a lot of these other teams are. And so just when you maybe think, hey, I'm starting to get comfortable against this pitcher, he's not going to be in the game. They're going to make a move, and the pressure that these teams approach it with the hitting standpoint also goes into the pitching, which, of course, affects the hitting. And, again, we talk about the ballpark a lot, and I've seen a lot of people saying, man, it's just the hitters don't like this ballpark. They just can't do it. I would buy that if a bunch of balls that Arkansas hit where it's like, oh, man, that would have gone out at bomb. There's maybe been a couple of those where you're like, oh, man, that was a hard hit ball. Maybe that didn't. Maybe that goes out somewhere else. Maybe it doesn't. Most of the balls that Arkansas has put in play are outs in every ballpark. They're softly hit ground balls. They're lazy fly balls in shallow left field. Like, that's not a ballpark issue. That's and look, maybe the hitters are telling themselves it's a ballpark issue. If they are very wrong, because a lot of the balls that Arkansas is putting in play are outs in every ballpark.
We'll get to your chat, folks, but I want to remind everybody that we're presented here on Inside Arkansas Live and at Inside Arkansas from Freedom Boat Club of Arkansas. Summer is finally here. I know the weather is definitely feeling that way, and there's no better place to spend your summer than on the lake. Well, if you don't own a boat, that is totally fine because you don't need to. With Freedom Boat Club of Arkansas, they're going to have you covered. They give you the access to the boats without the commitment, and they make sure that they have the boating that is fitting your lifestyle, fun, flexible, and stress-free, and which they take care of the boat. So you don't have to do all that boat maintenance, which nobody wants to do, and you can just enjoy the moment. They have 3 locations in Arkansas, so lake time is closer than you think, whether it's Greer's Ferry Lake, Lake Hamilton, or a day on the river in Little Rock. Freedom Boat Club of Arkansas will help make your summer in the natural state the best one yet. Check out their website today at www.freedomboatclubar.com. That's freedomboatclubar.com to learn more about joining the club and getting all the benefits with Freedom Boat Club of Arkansas. You can also check out that QR code there at the top right corner of your screen. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get into the chats because we were going to get into them earlier, but had some updates with the College World Series we had to jump out to. But shout out to our guy Hayden for the super chat. Appreciate it. He just says, everyone eat/drink whatever you did yesterday. Hayden,
right.
is that what Hayden? That's what you do every day. I just assume is you always eat and drink the stuff you did the day before. I feel like you're pretty consistent there. But yeah,
he's a man with a plan. Consistency. Yeah.
Are you guys extremely superstitious when it comes to like baseball and stuff like that? As far as like,
oh my God, yeah.
I mean, I feel like it's just so funny that it feels like it's that way with baseball, but not as much as any other sport.
I think I'm very much always prepared to make a change. Like if there's a need for a change vibe, I'm ready to change it. Yeah. Or that's switching seats or moving somewhere else or whatever. I'm always down for that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm very superstitious in general, and a lot of it stems from baseball, but I'm more with baseball for sure. I'll tell you one thing I'm worried about because there's a lot of things you can do. The shirt you're wearing, the route you take to the stadium, the song you play in your car, and blah blah blah. And I've dealt with all of those. The one thing that's on my mind, a little bit nervous, we're running low on laundry. I bought a bunch of socks, dark gray socks and white socks. For the win yesterday, I was wearing dark gray socks. I was wearing white socks when they lost. I had to wear white socks today because I ran out of socks. I'm going to have to do some laundry when we get back. If we lose today, it might be my socks' fault.
All right. Well, you heard it here first, folks. If that ends up happening, you know where to turn. It's Andrew Ellis's socks. Let's see. Also, Shane just comes and says, if we would have beat LSU, does Wood still get the no-hitter? Maybe he needed the motivation of possibly going home.
I mean, listen, the motivation of going home absolutely is a real thing, and it's something that Gage talked about a lot where he's like, I didn't want to go home. I don't know if he said it 5 times or not, but that was very much a thing. But I think the real thing is that he wouldn't have had to pitch against Murray State.
Yeah, that helps.
He would have pitched against UCLA, who's, I'm not like UCLA is, the 27 Yankees or anything like that, but, definitely a little bit more talent in their lineup, a big-time hitter in Chalowski. He probably wouldn't have no-hit him. He might have struck out 16 or 17, wouldn't have had 19 strikeouts and a no-hitter, but I think Gage Wood, the way he was throwing yesterday, probably would have worked for a lot no matter what.
Yeah. You know what he reminded me of? He reminded me of when Root was pitching against Tennessee, where he just went into a different reality, into his mind. Like he went into his own fantasy world and just, whatever came out of his hand is just going to be a money ball, fastest pitch you could ever throw. Whatever it was great. I did want to read this because it made me laugh from Jeremy. Says, y'all got any Inside Arizona merch?
That's pretty good.
Yeah, we're working on that. It's because it's been tough with the NCAA trying to figure out the differences between 2 states in the United States of Arizona and Arkansas. I even tweeted, I was like, the NCAA, everybody, and umpires, everybody needs to go back to elementary school and understand that there are different states in the United States of America. There's 50 of them, and they all have different names. Some of them may have north-south, but overall, there are different states with different names that you need to learn. So
I don't know if it was a random tweet that I saw, so I don't know if there's a lot of veracity to it, but apparently they did it again today.
Stop.
That they said Arkansas went 0-2 in barbecue, and then somebody else on the broadcast had to correct them.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah.
What has happened? Like,
I mean,
you would think that now that Arizona's gone, this wouldn't happen as much because it's like now there's not many times you can say Arizona, but holy cow.
Yeah. And also too, it's not like Arkansas is just some college baseball program that's never been at this level before. It's like people should just know who they are, for crying out loud. But it's almost like a bit at this point in time. It's almost like a comedy bit.
People were talking about the abbreviations, and everything. I know they're different or whatever. Like both states start with AR or whatever, but it's, when the hell have you ever thought of that when you're watching sports. You know what I mean?
Like, it
Like,
would be
it's
one
not-
thing if it were the state. Yeah, like if you did list out and you were like, hey, Phoenix AR or whatever, like that would make sense.
Yeah.
In this context, it's spelled out.
It's
Like when the
just
guy
Arizona
made that
and
blunder,
Arkansas.
when that guy made the blunder earlier, it just said Arizona, and he was like, Arizona.
Yeah.
And Arizona has a Z in it, so that's usually one of the things that stand out when it has a weird letter into the state. Like it's unreal. But either way, our guy Logan said a hell of an interview with Pat from Gage was really good. Yeah, we have to go back and listen to that with Pat McAfee. I'm sure it was. The dude is very electric. Tamara says, I love seeing Gage Wood on every sportscast, newscast, and all social media. It was a historical moment and loved it.
What's up with the word historical? I've heard that like 7 times here in the last 24 hours. It's not a word, right?
Historical is a word.
Yeah.
Is it a word?
Yeah.
Well, then what is historic? Is historic not a word?
It is also
Historical word.
Yeah.
So what's the difference in the two words?
I don't know. I'm not a damn thesaurus.
But I heard somebody, there was somebody at the press conference that said historical, and I was like, I don't think that's a thing.
I guess.
But then they asked it again to DVH, and then DVH didn't respond, didn't correct them.
Yeah.
But I've been hearing that word like more in the last 24 hours than I've ever heard.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, the words are tough, as I know, but I'm pretty sure both are words. I could be wrong, but
I'm
still
damn sure
using
not
them.
taking student section's advice on.
Yeah, students don't-
No, yeah, students actually you can chill over there.
not a reliable narrator.
No, not at all.
You never know when he's serious.
Yeah, I like this from Brandon. He says, "Can we get Gage to put some ice out on that shoulder and start again tonight? What's another 100 pitches? Yeah, what's another 100 pitches? I mean,
Yeah, I've seen a few people asking like when Gage is coming back. Listen, he's going to be in the finals.
Yes.
It'll be in the finals or in high A for the Yankees or whatever.
yes, one of the two. Let's see, because Hickory Hogs even said he's like, think Gage was pissed. They kept saying Arizona. He immediately went to point out Arkansas when the game is over. Here's the deal: is as cool as a thing as that may be, one, they've done that celebration already before, as we saw Fouch do it against Tennessee. But also, two, if there's one thing I can promise you that Gage Wood was not paying attention to during that whole 9-inning game was when the umpire said Arizona is challenging the play and not Arkansas. Because again, Gage Wood was in his own world. He was zoned in, focused in. So as
Gage
cool of
Wood
a thing. It was just a celebration.
That man was hovering somewhere above his body during that entire experience, man. He was not with us. That was crazy.
I do love that we do this thing where we're like, the players have their motivation and it fluctuates like every day depending on what's going on and like what things are said. It's like, dude, these dudes are going to go out there and do their business. It's like I don't think they need. They do tell themselves certain things for sure, and like when your season's on the line, elimination game, that's a big motivation. But I definitely don't think it was like, well, I was going to go out there and shove 97 down this dude's throat, but now I'm. But they said our name right, so I don't know. No, not as motivated.
Yeah. Kingsley shot him and says, "I'll be wearing my number one dad Razorback socks again for sure."
Love that.
Whatever it takes, Kingsley.
Yes.
Whatever it takes, buddy. But you got to get. May have to get some of those for Curtis here too. If I know where he got the socks, and get those. So in. Hey,
number 2 dad. Kingsley has number 1.
Okay, so you can be number 2.
You
You can be the runner-up.
already claimed the top spot. That's crazy.
right. Shout out to Hickory Hawk. Appreciate the super chat. He says, Ellis, go buy you some more dark gray socks.
I gotta get some Reeboks, man.
Yeah.
I never have the right matching ones, like because there's like I bought this like pack a long time ago that has like all these ones that match, and like some are like it says white. It'll be have a white Reebok on the bottom. Some it's a black Reebok on the bottom, and I never have the right matching. Like
Walmart is they've got Reebok now. They've got because it used to be a big deal when they got and one in there.
Yeah,
they've got Reebok in there. I was walking around there the other day, and they've got like Ralph Lauren and all kinds. I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah,
in Walmart, it's changed, man.
They're getting fancy on us.
I used to get shamed if I went to school and people were like, "I see that faded glory, boy." Walmart brand, man. Now you can live large in there.
Yeah.
That's good as a pending father.
Yeah. Now you know. Now you know. I like this also from Dylan. He says, "I'm calling it right now. Get the beer hats ready because Evo Loy is going to smash a mid plate." Low breaking ball, 105 off the barrel and 405 feet left center, and keep the juices flowing all the way to the natty. I love it, except it's 408 in center field.
Well, if it's left center,
okay. Okay, so yeah, I guess that would be okay. But either way, yes, I would take that right there.
Yeah, we'll definitely take it, man.
Yeah.
I tell you what, the Alloy boys get made fun of for like normal performances more than any brothers ever. Like Vahiva, I think is like 3 for 7 in Omaha or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's like, got to get him going, man. Got to get him going. I think Cahillo's on like a 6-game hit streak or something like that. But every time I read Twitter, they're like, you got to bench that kid.
Mhm.
Vahiva, nobody's going to remember any Vahiva moment unless he hits a 500-foot home run.
Yeah,
No.
Because
he had that double yesterday.
Credit. He's got no credit for any hit he's had in the postseason.
Also, let's see. Okay, so Dylan also asked this question when people were discussing. He says, what else does, I assume he said, meaning would have to do to get on Kopp's level in Hog Hall of Fame? Well, I just don't think it's possible at this point. I mean, unless they win the College World Series and he's the starter in Game 2 of the final.
Hitter in the final.
Yeah, like something crazy like that. But listen, I love Gage, and he was awesome. He's been great. But, I mean, this game was the best he's ever had, and it's not even close. I guess against Creighton, he had a really good showing of 13 strikeouts. But, I mean, you can't just take 1 or 2 games and be like, oh, he's on this, because Kopp's won the Golden Spikes. So it's hard to really compare it that way.
Yeah, we have to be able to separate like individual performances in a game, and we also have to be able to separate seasons, because Kevin Kopp has the best season. He's not the best Razorback pitcher ever because he just had the one good season. Obviously, he had some other years where he was pitching. That's why I lean Hagen over both of these guys, honestly, because Hagen kind of had all of that. But yeah, if Gage Wood ends up pitching in the championship series, and even if let's say he throws 6 innings, he strikes out 9 and gives up 1 run, gets the win in the deciding game that wins Arkansas the national championship, I think you can make an argument he would be remembered like longer, and like that would be a legendary run that we talk about forever. And maybe some guys would consider him better than Kopp's, but there's just a difference between the best performance ever, the best season ever, the best career ever, and then the best pro career. Like, these are all different conversations. And when we try and compare guys, we always try and blend them together, and it's just impossible to do.
Yeah.
Because you can also look at it from a stuff standpoint, like who's better at actually pitching and all that. And so, whatever conversation you want to have, we can have it. But it's always tough to do these vague things where it's like, who would you rather have in a nutshell? Ryan Stanek or Barrett Lowski? And you're like, what? Like, I don't know. Like, what's the context?
Yeah. Well, I think Hickory Hog may have been answering it kind of similar to what you were saying. He says Gage Wood, best performance, Kevin Kopp's best season, Hagen Smith, most talented.
I would also go Hagen Smith, best career, because, I mean, he was a Golden Spikes finalist. He was an All-SEC guy twice. He was a closer on an Omaha team in as a freshman. Also had a huge outing in an elimination game in Omaha. So he's kind of checked all the boxes. And he's the most talented, and he's broken all the records and all that.
Yeah. Also, like this, speaking of pictures from Zeke, he says Gabe also said after the game yesterday he think he would be available
Gabe
today.
Gackle,
Gabe Gackle,
by the way, you cannot take Gabe Gackle at his word. If Gabe Gackle wants to throw today, that's great, and we appreciate that. I don't know if Matt Hobbs and Dave Van Horn are going to agree with him. I would be extremely stunned if he was considered an option today. But who knows? We could, it's all hands on deck in an elimination game. But him saying that does not necessarily mean he's actually available to throw today.
Yes.
In fact, I would really like to see him tomorrow, or maybe even Thursday.
I like Gabe Gackle to start that Thursday game against the Tigs.
Yep, I could see that happening. Let's see. Goat Richardson just says, I'm a little late, but thank you guys. I'm always needing my Inside Arkansas. Hey, same. We're always needing it too. So.
Hello, Goat.
Yep, we appreciate it. Michael says, what time would we play tomorrow if we win tonight? It's tomorrow night.
6.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be 6 o'clock tomorrow night. So hopefully they're able to get this game over with, not at the middle of the night tonight.
Yeah, that's right. Also, Aiden says, are we going to be able to run on UCLA's catcher like we did on Murray State's catcher?
No. I mean, Murray State, and again, that's the thing we always do where we're like, Arkansas's changing their approach, and they're gonna be a base stealing team. When you face a catcher that doesn't have a great arm, and you face a pitcher that's slow to the mound, you maybe do some of those things. Murray State is definitely an outlier in that department when it comes to at this level of baseball. Like, there's a reason Arkansas didn't run an SEC play. It's not because they got slow. It's just because you face catchers that know what they're doing and pitchers that know what they're doing.
Let's see. Also, a few more here too. That where was it at that I was trying to find it, guys? So we appreciate everybody getting in the chat, but there's been a lot of them that's coming in hot. From Seth, he says Arkansas bats clearly not comfortable with this large ballpark, which I know we kind of discussed already.
I mean, again, mentally, maybe that is possible, but I definitely don't think like the ballpark has made them miss pitches that they've missed. You know what I mean? And I think the pitching that they faced, and I think also their own mental battles are also playing a factor here.
Red J says, how does it feel sharing DJ's dugout with the great Phil Elson? I think the question needs to be is how does Phil Elson feel about sharing the DJ's dugout with the great Andrew Ellis? I think is really what needs to be the topic of conversation here. So, but yeah, Phil's just over there chowing down here at DJ's dugout.
I remember in 2022, Phil asked me I got to come on Phil's show, and he was doing it from DJ's dugout. So I felt so cool coming to DJ's dugout just to do Phil's show. And now
look at you now.
And now we're doing our show.
Yeah, on a higher stage.
And Phil's here in attendance to support us.
That's right. It's really nice of him. Yeah, it's really nice of him to come and support
Appreciate
us.
you tuning in.
Yeah. Hazelwood, appreciate the super chat. Goes Hazelwood, Gage Wood, stroking my wood, Hogs in 3. So
I like that. I like that. 27
go.
more innings.
Yep,
got this,
right.
boys.
Yes.
Getting there. Let's see. Also, a few more here. Hickory Hog says, are we worried about the fielders catching balls today due to taking a nap for 21 outs yesterday?
I mean,
they had to have been bored.
Yeah.
This is fair. Although I will say I was impressed with how they were able to make all the plays that were hit to them yesterday, given those circumstances. So I think today they're probably going to be like more excited. You know what I mean? Like a new day. It's probably going to be a little bit more energetic. I think Landon Bottleshees will get his strikeouts, but I think he's gonna let him hit the ball to him.
Well, let's hope Dave Van Horn got his Celsius in him. You know, like it was mentioned yesterday.
That was such a good comment, man.
Yeah, get his energy and get his caffeine in there too.
Somebody take care of that, man.
Seriously. Kingsley also said about with the number 2 shirt, says, Curtis, no worries, we can do it like the SEC Player of the Week.
I would accept a co
dad of the
number
year.
1 dad of the year. Yeah, with Kingsley.
Yep, that would be awesome. So yeah, we got this guy over here. He's ready to rock and roll. Yeah, he said what's up to us first, and then I don't even think he knows who those guys are over there at that table.
He's trying to figure it out.
Yeah, he's like, who are these guys and why are they so ugly? I can't figure it out. Yeah, I can't figure it out at all. But either way, let's see a few more here. Sweet Arkansas gal, which we know she was pumped from Batesville about Gage Wood. She says, get the Omaha Herald paper. Gage is on the front page. I did see that and did see they used the caption Hog Heaven. So, which was pretty cool.
Where do you get a paper?
Shout out to Wes.
Yeah. Shout out to Wes. Where do you get the paper? I don't know. I haven't seen any paper stands. Hey, we can just go to the Omaha Herald. The building is
right down
here.
the road.
Jane, you're going to have to explain to us what a newspaper is. We've never heard of such a concept.
Yes.
You used to be able to put a quarter in the little.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's
we're not that far away from the paper, right?
No, that's what we're saying. Just go down the
literally
street.
Just go in there. We could probably just walk in there and ask for one.
Yeah, exactly. Which actually just remind me to give a shout out to our friends over at the Hog Heaven House in Fayetteville because they have hooked us up with a place to stay up here in Omaha. And it's been awesome, and we really appreciate Wes and his wife for allowing us to be there. It's becoming so clutch. It's one thing to have one person stay with you. It's another thing to have 2 people. But when you got 3 grown men, adults,
big boys.
that are big old boys staying in, it's a lot to do. So we really appreciate them helping us out. And they got a great Airbnb called the Hog Heaven House down there in Fayetteville for graduation, sporting events, everything. So just scan that QR code right there. If you're looking to book your trip down to Fayetteville for any event, and if you use that code HOGS20, get 20% off. So we really appreciate them being a part of it and making it happen with us being up here in Omaha for sure. All right, just a couple more chats, and then we'll get into our heavy hitters here in just a second. Oh, this stupid tiger again, dude. Like, they have to be the coolest people in the world to be driving around in circles. You know how much gas you're wasting? You know what you're doing to the environment, sir? I mean, come on here. Like,
driving me nuts.
I know. Man, just saying. Might have to go and be like the Hangover and go steal it like Mike Tyson.
I was just about to say that, and I was like, well, I almost made a "What do tigers dream of?" joke.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no. And then I was like, honestly, dude, we really might have to just steal the tiger like they did.
Yep. Just do that because I guarantee you that one won't bite us or attack us because it's an inanimate object. So we're getting sick of it though.
Before we get back into the chat, John, can I just say one thing about the tiger?
Go ahead.
Arkansas has had, I think, what are we on, Tusk 6 now? 6 or 7?
I thought it was 4, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I think you might be right. You're probably closer to being right. LSU runs through Mike the Tigers they're on like 17, and they've only been doing it for like 30 years.
What does that tell you?
I don't know what they're feeding them, but it is not. Yeah, I think Pete probably needs to step in, low key. Like someone needs to do something. Like Tusk, the one that died a couple of years ago. Like he was Tusk for a long time.
Yeah, he lived a good life.
They're getting good meals. Like they're staying nutritious. They are murdering tigers down in Baton Rouge.
I will sick Pete on somebody.
Yeah.
I sick Pete on John once for putting the Chad Morris candle by Rowdy.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh,
Listen,
wow.
I've had some run-ins because of that with the PETA people. So yeah, we need to do that or get it's basically like a Joe Exotic over there at LSU. Just killing animals and doing it illegally. So we gotta figure out how to change that up a little bit. But I tell you what, since I know we'll have some more chats again, appreciate everybody tuning in with us. Appreciate DJ's Dugout having us here. It's always a great time out here. And if you're in Omaha for the College World Series, pre-games and post-games, always going to be right here at DJ's Dugout. So always appreciate them for being a part of it. But let's go ahead and jump into who our heavy hitters are, presented by our friends over at HD Roofing and Construction, because we know that storms can hit unexpectedly. So be sure to contact HD Roofing for your peace of mind with that free inspection. You know, storms, as we saw, came in last night. They're going to be here in Omaha tonight. And in Arkansas, it's the same way. You never know when they're going to hit. So let HD Roofing take care of you, because when you choose them, you can rely on professionalism, top quality materials, and expert installation for all of your roofing needs. You can check out hdarkansas.com for more info, or you can call them today at 501-428-0429. Also, I want to wish happy birthday to our guy, Garrett of HD Roofing. Today's his birthday.
Hey,
So,
Garrett. Happy birthday, man.
yeah, the only reason I know that, Garrett, is because I saw Facebook. That's all I got. So don't feel offended by that. But still, hopefully it's a good birthday, and hopefully it's a Hog win. I texted him this morning. He's like, all he wants is a Razorback dub tonight. Yeah. So hopefully they play tonight so they can give him that for his birthday. So, okay. So getting into the heavy hitters, or at least my heavy hitter, I think it'd be so easy and so cliche to have Gage Wood and all that for being the heavy hitter. But I do want to say, though, mine's Justin Thomas, because I don't think he got enough credit for what was yesterday. Because Gage Wood got all the love and praise, as he should have, as he deserves so. Arkansas did not hit well, at least getting guys home. They did have 10 hits on the day, but did not hit guys with scoring position, get them home or anything like that. So frustrating. But how about the 9-hole hitter, Justin Thomas, going 4 for 4 yesterday? Has been really solid in postseason. Sometimes is forgotten in a way, because you think about Vahiva Aloy, you think about Charles Davalon, Cam Kojo, all these guys, because they have so many great options. But don't sleep on Justin Thomas now. And the fact that he had a great showing yesterday in the College World Series, and of course Reese Robinette's been really good too. But to go 4 for 4 in the College World Series and get the win too, it was all about Gage Wood. But Justin Thomas deserves some love too, because whatever he was doing, whatever he was seeing, he was feeling it, and not even just getting on base, but actually getting hits and getting on base. So shout out to him. He's my heavy hitter. Guy deserves a lot of credit, and hopefully he continues it on tonight.
I was talking to Andrew earlier, and I was like, bro, why aren't you wearing the JT's Coming shirt?
Why not?
And he was like, because Gage Wood threw a no-hitter.
Oh, that's fair.
They got overshadowed, man. I can't do that now.
Yeah, it's rough.
Curtis, I want you to go first, because mine is so good, but I don't want to steal it if in the off chance that you have mine.
I don't think I'm pretty sure I don't. But let me pull mine up real quick. Let's see. There it is.
Oh.
My heavy hitter is John Calipari. Putting the work in on those boys at summer practices. You guys probably all saw the tweet, but he was throwing it back to UMass and Memphis in the early Kentucky days when he'd have them do 20/20s, which is like 20 suicides in 20 minutes. And it's some tough conditioning. And if you just look at some of the facial expressions, I just love how they do that. They were probably all cussing Cal under their breath and everything. It's like, dude, it's June. Why are we doing this? What's going on? And then they have to line up and take a team photo while they're all exhausted. The faces on some of these guys absolutely crack me up, man. Like Sealy and Leak as the freshmen just look like, what have I gotten myself into? Billy Richmond has just a great facial expression of like, what the heck just happened here? It's pretty funny. Like you can really tell who's in shape and who hated that. Like Trevor Brazil's got his normal just he's a monotone man with a monotone face right there. But all this stuff cracked me up, man. I loved looking at that. And the one guy who looks like he was unfazed by it was Darius Acuff. And it's interesting because when he was at the, I can't remember if it was the Jordan Brand Classic or one of those showcase events, and they were doing the practices. And usually it's just like a bunch of skills and drills, and you run some 5-on-5. That way you know what you're doing in the games. And I guess they made them line up and run. It's like, hey, we're gonna run some sprints. We're gonna do a little bit of conditioning. And those are a bunch of like fives, like blue chip prospects and everything. And they're like, what do you mean? And apparently Acuff was the guy who was just like the first to the line, and he was just lapping people in the sprints and everything. So he ain't tired. He's ready. Those other guys, I feel bad for you. And hey, better them than me, I guess we could say.
To be fair, the conditioning, I feel like for basketball teams, it's always easier on the point guards than it is the 7 foot.
Yeah.
There's always, I feel like every team, I don't know about you, but I know Connor Vanover was this guy. Like every team has like an exception where like you have the coach that's like, hey, we got to finish this in under 7 minutes. Except him. If he finishes in 9, it's fine. And it's like you kind of just have to accept it. I don't know. Does Arkansas have a guy like that where it's like, oh, you kind of have to like set rules aside for them?
I didn't see the. I guess the Bosnian bulldozer missed the 2020 day. He's not.
Him and Carter were getting lunch yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's right.
yeah. Carter's been MIA, man. I'm worried. I'm not worried.
He's here.
Yeah.
In Omaha.
That'd be pretty cool if he was.
He's here in Omaha. That's why he wasn't doing the 2020s yet.
I mean, yeah, listen, it's understandable. He had to watch Gage Wood throw a no-hitter.
He has been. He was in Fayetteville for a while.
Okay.
And I don't know why he wasn't there yesterday. As somebody said, he had some personal stuff going on. I have no idea, but he has been back.
Okay.
So.
Well, that's good.
That is good to hear. Well, I'm glad you didn't steal my heavy hitter.
Yeah. Okay.
My heavy hitter, I mean, guys, the chat's going to be stunned to hear this. I'm going back to the Ryder Helfrich because I feel like Ryder Helfrich is, one, just a stud. Like, I mean, it's crazy that we've spent so much of his career complaining about everything that he does. When, as we've documented, like he's pretty much on track to be the most accomplished catcher in school history, or like in that mix at least. Like he's a lot closer to James McCann than he is to whoever you think is the worst catcher in region. You know what I mean? Like he's a lot closer to that, which is funny because I remember when Dave compared him to James McCann when he first arrived on campus, people freaked out about it and were like mad. And now here we are 2 years later. He's in Omaha. He's calling a freaking perfect game. He's been absolutely money behind the plate. Like, you know, I know I'm not saying he's like, I don't know if he's an elite defender at this stage of his career, but like he's well above average in terms of defensive catchers. He's a really good athlete behind home plate, controls the run game really well. I mean, we talked about that with Murray State. Like, you just don't see teams steal bases on legitimate catchers. You know who teams don't steal bases on is Ryder Helfrich. Like, when have you seen Arkansas play a game this year where the run game has really been a factor? It's just not. And again, we've talked about this 1,000 times. Arkansas is one of a very few schools in college baseball that give their catchers that right to call every pitch. And of course, they're getting information. Matt Hobbs can overrule, and pitchers can shake them off. Like, it's not just directly, hey, Ryder Helfrich made every single pitch. And hell, with yesterday, it was like, fastball up. Let's go ahead and throw that one. Boom. Okay, maybe we'll throw in a curve. Fastball up. Like, it was pretty easy. But again, I think these pitchers like throwing to him, and he just seems to have a good feel. Dave actually gave him a lot of props yesterday because he just controls the games. He knows what he's seeing. He knows the swings that these hitters are taking, and he seems to process that information good. And I think down the stretch, you've seen it go up a level where Gage looked more comfortable throwing yesterday. And of course, he's throwing really well. It's hard not to feel comfortable. But it seems like him and Ryder have a very good rapport. Him and Gackle, who he's been catching Gackle since he was in 8th grade, they have a very good rapport back there. And so I think that's always a huge key. And as we move forward to next, oh my God, we got breaking news.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Holy cow, we have breaking news.
Is that AI?
By the way, look, I'm glad I planted the seed earlier. I said it then. I didn't expect this to happen, but guys, Zach Root will officially be the starting pitcher for Arkansas tonight. He threw 38 pitches on Saturday. Dave said it on Sunday. He would be available Monday or Tuesday. Today is Tuesday. He's available, and he is starting the game. And this is a fascinating decision.
Wow, man.
That's
I'm glad I didn't make Landon Beidelshe's my preemptive heavy hitter.
Yeah, good deal.
So does that mean we would probably get either Cheese or Aiden, probably Cheese if they make it to Wednesday.
Yeah, most likely.
The first game against LSU, and then maybe Gackle. And
same type of situation where it doesn't matter.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, listen, you can't win tomorrow if you don't win today.
Dude,
that's a thing here. I also think, Arkansas was able to, of course, I don't think Zach Root's going to throw a, complete game shutout, no hitter. But I think one thing that Zach Root does have the ability to do is to get deep into this ball game. I know he threw 38 pitches. That's not going to be that big of a deal, especially if he's rolling. Once he gets downhill, gets that old man wind up going, he gets a good feel. Like it'll be interesting to see if he starts rolling. You could get into the situation where it's in the 6th inning. Arkansas swings the bats the way they need to. Maybe you don't have to use a ton of your top big time arms. You could go into a 2-game stretch with LSU where you have everybody, not everybody, because you'll just use Zach Root and all that, but you'll have a good bit available. I think this is going to be fascinating. We'll see what that means for starters tomorrow and Thursday. But again, you got to win tonight. Arkansas's putting it on the table, going back to their guy.
Man, listen, it's just, let's just get it out of the way right now. If it works out and Arkansas wins and Root does well, it's a great decision. But if Root does his struggles out there, then it's going to be the worst decision ever. It's just how it's going to be. But it goes back to the whole thing. I trust Dave. Trust Matt Hobbs. Like people were very critical, as we talked about in the LSU game when they took Root out. There were a lot of people that, what are you doing? That's stupid. It was a brilliant decision because Gabe Gackle came in and shoved. So to me, I'm great with it. If this is what they think, they know Zach Root better than any of us, and they feel confident. We've seen what he can do. So yeah, roll it out, see what happens, and hopefully takes care of business.
Bounce back opportunity, man. I'm glad that he gets this shot here, and it's going to be very interesting to see. And and here I am again thinking about the the weather situation.
Yeah.
Like, don't have the abbreviated start in game 1, and then what if he's rolling and he's at 2 1/3 or whatever, and then we get a freaking lightning strike. So it's going to be really interesting to see. I really, really hope we get good Razorback situation tonight. And in fact, I'm gonna predict. I think he's gonna be very good.
Good.
I think he's gonna be very, very good. He ain't gonna be Gage good, but he's gonna be very good.
I think you're gonna get definitely a very motivated version of Zach Root. I mean, he's a guy that always fills up the zone. Like the command issues that he showed in that second inning were really very much an outlier, and so this is fascinating. The thing is, and look, I know a lot of people have immediately done the conclusion of, okay, so you're not going to have Zach Root against LSU, which this doesn't guarantee that, but it pretty much solidifies that if he throws 60, 70 pitches tonight, he's probably not throwing Wednesday or Thursday. Although, man, like it's the College World Series, elimination games, all bets are off. I keep looking at it through this lens of you have 27 innings to get through.
Yeah.
Zach Root might be able to eat 6 of those. And if he does, that's a win. And so, again, you haven't used Parker Coyle. You haven't used Dylan McCarter, Will McIntyre. You haven't really used Fouch. You've got all these guys. You haven't used Jimenez, Vital Sheets. Like, you've got all these guys available. And honestly, I think that going into, even though you're not going in with one of your top 2 starters, although Gackle will most likely be available by Wednesday or Thursday at the latest, you're going to have so much in the bullpen. I think that seems to be a trade-off that Arkansas is willing to make. Would also point out, Cade Anderson threw 100 pitches on Saturday. The earliest he would pitch would be Thursday, and it would be a pretty quick turnaround, pretty short rest for him. So maybe you wouldn't see that version of him. Anthony Ianson threw 55 pitches last night at 7 p.m. He's not going to He's not going to start tomorrow for LSU. I wouldn't imagine. If he does, I think Arkansas should sign up for that and be like, yeah, sure, go ahead and bring him back on short rest. So maybe Anthony Ianson pitches on Thursday, which that's what Dylan DeLucia did for Ole Miss and shut Arkansas down. But it's not like LSU's in a super ideal situation either.
So I guess let me ask this question. I think I know the answer, but I want to ask it anyways. Say if they had to postpone the game till tomorrow morning, you still starting Root no matter what? If they have to move the game tomorrow, still Root?
Yeah, I mean, dude, if you're throwing them tonight, I guess you would still probably go ahead and throw them tomorrow.
I would assume, but I didn't know if maybe it's like, oh, well, that extra night's sleep could maybe change some things. I don't know, but man, how about that, Zach Root? The only bummer about it is, of course, if it wins and it all goes well, but I really wanted to see Root against LSU again.
I know, I did too. And honestly, listen, if I always play the game of, if Dave Van Horn called me and asked me what to do,
yes,
I would not have recommended this. If I'm being 100% honest with you, this would not have been my suggestion. That doesn't mean it's like I'm right and Dave's wrong, or I'm wrong and Dave's right. We'll see how it plays out. But I think a big part of this, if I had to guess, has to be the message you're sending to your team. If Root is fully available and you don't use him and your season ends tonight, that would be one that Dave would probably lose sleep about for the rest of his career. I think you just got to win the game in front of you, and then we'll figure it out tomorrow.
Yep.
That should be the mentality, honestly.
Yep. Short leash as well?
Yeah, probably. And it's just going to be fascinating because there's so many ways this could play out. One, he could just suck, and then, you got to
be rough.
He could also, let's say he throws 4 scoreless innings and Arkansas just jumps all over UCLA and just obliterates them. Do you make a decision there? Obviously, that's a decision you would be happy to make. Like, if that's what you have to do. I think it's very interesting, man.
Now, I was already pumped for the game, but now I'm really excited because of my intrigue. I'm like, all right, so what are we gonna see from Root tonight? Because if he goes in there and shoves, then it's like, all right, let's do this. He's still maybe he throws a no-hitter. Maybe he goes 119 pitches. Probably don't want that, but hey, we saw him here at DJ's Dugout. What was that, on Sunday with the fam? He was here for a long time. He saw that Arizona team have to go home on the TV. He doesn't want to have that be him. So he's gonna make it happen. So wow. So if you're just joining us, Zach Root.
I do think that's fascinating. And look, I think also Root is one of those guys, because we talk about workload and how many pitches a guy's thrown and in rest and all this. Not to say that's not a factor here with Zach Root. It is, but he also is just one of those guys. He doesn't have a super high effort delivery. Like he's one of those guys that once he gets rolling, it just seems like he could throw 400 pitches and wouldn't be an issue at all. Like against Tennessee, I don't even know what his pitch count finished at, maybe 85, 86.
Mm-hmm.
He was better in the later innings than he was in the early innings. And so I do think he's a guy that with his skill set, with his mentality, how motivated he's going to be here for this game, I actually could see him being extremely effective through 4, 5, 6 innings. Like I wouldn't be surprised if he threw a long, like deep into this game, honestly.
So 3 pitchers probably used. I'm going to say 3 pitchers tonight get used. How about y'all?
I like the 3 pitchers.
3 pitchers?
I mean, they do have a lot of lefties over there. So, like, maybe you just go him, Coyle, Gibbler.
And yeah, I mean, they're all available there.
Yeah, 3 pitchers. I mean, Root's probably going to throw 7. I mean, the outside of that blip on the radar there for him, it's just what they've been doing. Is going crazy with their arms. So.
Well, our Ozarkian says, so in game 2 against LSU, assuming you make it to Thursday against them, do you use Gackle or do you use Wood?
You ain't using Wood.
No. It's not. Gage Wood's not pitching unless Arkansas gets to the finals. The earliest he would throw would be like Sunday. I would use Gackle. I would probably start Gackle in that Thursday game, which would be the game 2 against LSU if you're looking at it through this lens, or 3,
right.
whatever it is.
They give him Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah, he'd be like 1 day short rest.
Yeah, and
he'd be fine.
He threw 90 pitches, which is a lot of pitches, but it's like
a start.
Right.
Yeah.
Like the difference between Thursday and Friday at that point, which Friday there's not a game scheduled.
Right.
I think that's perfectly fine. And the fact that it's elimination. I mean, hell, you already have the kid on Monday night being like, oh, I'm coming back tomorrow.
Yeah.
Which he's full of crap. But like the fact that he's like already itching to get out there tells you that he feels okay. You know what I mean? It was actually kind of funny seeing him at practice Sunday. He was just like sitting on a bucket of balls the whole time. Like they would not let him even run, pick up a ball, or do anything. Like they were like, you just sit right there and you shut up.
Yep, exactly right. We'll get to some of your chats and some of your reactions to the news of Zach Root being the starter for tonight for the Razorbacks. But I want to remind everybody that here on Inside Arkansas, as well as Bombastic, we're presented by our friends over at Hickey and Hole Law. Well, let's be honest, divorce and custody cases, they're very important. In fact, they're far too important to try and face alone. So let Hickey and Hole Law provide you with persistent and diligent representation to guide you through the entire process, where they have handled thousands of family law cases and have experienced nearly every scenario that has come up. They understand that it is crucial to all of their clients that they keep them updated on their cases and that they find and are available to provide advice as well as counsel throughout the entire process. And they will take time to meet with clients, respond to emails, and always return your calls because they push the case forward for their clients, advocating for them in diligent and consistent manner from the very beginning all the way to the finish. So have Hickey and Hole Law offices take care of you, where they have those offices across the state of Arkansas: Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Little Rock, and Mena. You can also call them today at 479-434-2414. That's 479-434-2414. Or you can check out their website at hickeyandhole.com, or you can just scan that QR code at the top right of your screen. It's Hickey and Hole Law. Things are about to get better. And let's hope that things are about to get better for Arkansas tonight, as they will be taking on UCLA. And Zach Root is going to be the starting pitcher for Arkansas. So looking at some of the reactions to this, I'm sure it would be interesting. But let's read this from Kingsley, where he says, Andrew, what is the criteria for a pitcher being ready? Is there a tangible evaluation, x-rays or something like that, or is it just vibes and feel?
So, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you, a lot of it is vibes and feel. And really what's interesting about this is that term ready in the postseason in an elimination game format is very different than May or March or whatever when you're in a normal week. Like someone like Zach Root, like for all year, it's been pretty simple with him.
He's got a schedule.
I'm throwing on Thursday or Friday. I'm getting my either 5 or 6 days of rest, maybe 7. And then you're throwing once a week.
Throwing
you're
a pin, in between. And
another thing is these guys throw just about every day. Mm-hmm. Like obviously maybe the day after if you throw 90 pitches or whatever, you're maybe not throwing that day after, but these guys are warming up. And so while they're warming up or doing their long tossing or they're stretching or whatever, they can feel, they kind of know. There's also something to be said about just physical exhaustion. Like we talk a lot about the arms for good reason. But also it's like there's a lot that puts on you. Your body is sore after you pitch a full game. And so I think there's something to be said for that as well. But a lot of times it is just the way these guys feel. And while they're throwing, anything you feel in your arm, if you're feeling even any tightness, any soreness, any whatever, like the coaches are always begging these players to be as upfront and honest, because you always are going to have a guy like Gabe Gackle who's like, hey, I'm ready to throw tomorrow. But as a coach, you're like, can I really trust that? because if you go out there and throw a guy like Gabe Gackle and he does get hurt, that you look like an idiot, and it's a whole huge dilemma here. There's also something to be said when you think about this, different types of arms and how they throw. Like, think about someone like Christian Fouch, who throws the ball 100 miles an hour, and every pitch that Christian Fouch throws, he's throwing it as hard as he possibly can. It's max effort, and so much of his success is built on power. So that type of guy, is he going to be the same the next day? Is he going to be, quick turnaround type of guy? Could he throw, that you use him very differently, and him being ready is a little bit different than a guy like Root, who does have a ton of power, can throw it up to 98, 99. But a lot of what makes Zach Root special is feel, command, his ability to locate, his ability to throw the changeup, the slider, and, all these different things. And so it's like what his version of ready is completely different than maybe what Gabe Gackles is and what Gage Woods is and Christian Fouch and all these different guys. And so it's kind of unique to each player. But to answer your question, there's not really an evaluation you do. You just have to kind of have those conversations with the players, maybe see their bullpens, see their warm-ups, see how they're feeling. But this time of year, those waters get muddied real quick in terms of, can you help us? Okay, go out there.
Well, and I also want to add this into the mix, because Curtis, you said that you think Root's going to shove tonight, right? I think that's what you said earlier.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, so say if he does, say if he has, and we you could use that definition of what shove means, but say he does. I mean, you're talking about 3 straight games of arguably the 3 greatest pitching performances you could have in a College World Series by an individual. With Gabe Gackle's performance against LSU game 1, with what you had from Gage Wood, and then if Zach Root, which again, you can use your own definition of what would be a great game. Yeah, a no-hitter, but let's not expect that. Let's just say he goes out there and gets double-digit strikeouts with 7 innings pitched, something like that, doesn't give up a run. Then, man, it's just, you got to get the offense going. The bats have to get going, fellas, because the pitching's been phenomenal, and you cannot let that happen where you have 3 straight games. Here's what I don't want to have happen. I don't want to have 3 straight games. Well, obviously, Arkansas wins tonight. You got to win, but I don't want to have 3 straight games where going into the 4th game, I am more confident in the pitching that should be depleted than I am the bats that have been consistent. Like, I don't want to do that where it's like, once again, 3 straight games, bats aren't there, but thank goodness for the pitching. Like, I do not want to have that happen. Can't happen.
I hope, yeah. I mean, I really hope that the bats get it going. Now I'm wondering about what UCLA is going to do. Not that it matters, because they'll throw 9 different arms out there, but just so all 4 of their regular starters pitched in this game here. So I'm wondering if, like, the guy who started last night, if they're just going to start him today because he's got the most rest of all of them or something. It's just, it's crazy how they do this. But yeah, no, I do. I feel good about Root, man. I don't think you're going to have back-to-back outings where it kind of unravels on him. It's not like he was getting hit super hard and everything the other day. It was just one of those deals where it just wasn't quite right, and you had to make the move. And I'm not going to sit here and say I think he's going to, go 8 scoreless or something like that. But
cool.
I think quality start territory is about where I am. I think he'll get them maybe deeper than we even expect, and he'll have the opportunity to do that if Arkansas is really swinging it, though. You know what I mean? Because that's the other thing about it. If it's a tight game and Arkansas is having some trouble scoring, they'll get him out of there pretty quick with some early signs of trouble, or you give up a run or two, and it's like, all right, man. But if he's got a little bit of a cushion, they might let him work through it a little bit more. So that's also going to be somewhat dependent on what the bats are able to do.
Yeah, he's either Zach Root is either coming out in the 2nd inning or he's coming out in the 6th inning. I mean, it's either going to go awry fairly quickly or he's going to be strong till the end. So you're kind of stuck there with that. But I mean, again, I hope he has a great showing. I hope you have to use as minimal pitching as possible while still getting the win tonight. But man, he keeps going back to the bats. The bats got to get going. You got to start scoring some runs, man. I do not want to win tonight's game by final score 3-2. That's not going to make me feel good.
My soul's not ready for that, man.
No, I mean, I'll win. I'll take the win.
Yes,
but geez, just give me something to feel good about heading into these final 2 games instead of constantly hoping that your pitching just plays the game of their life. And in the College World Series, I'm kind of tired of hoping for that. But let's see a few chats here too. Hatch just says, I wonder how UCLA hit against left-handed guys.
So what's weird is, and we were kind of cracking up about it right as we were about to go live here, because LSU brings in a freshman lefty for a left-on-left situation, and I'm just kind of, I don't have the lineup in front of me. I'm like, okay, so they bring him in to face a lefty. I wonder who's on deck. Is it 4 straight lefties? They have 6 lefties in their everyday lineup. 4 right there, back to back to back to back in the middle. So you see that, and you have Zach Root on the mound, and you're like, okay, great matchup. And I'm sure that's part of the decision making. But UCLA really does. I mean, again, their splits are not that dissimilar. They actually have a higher batting average against lefties now. Their power and all that's not the same. Most of their home runs come against right-handed pitching. And so they're a little bit less dangerous of a lineup, but it's not going to be a massive factor. And Zach Root, for a while this year, I haven't looked at it recently. There was a point a month ago where he was better against righties than he was lefties. And so maybe it doesn't matter quite as much, especially because his changeup is his best pitch. And that really dives away from righties more than anything. But it is going to be a huge factor, the fact that they have 6 left-handed starters in their lineup. And so it kind of shapes up where if Zach Roots comes out of this game, at what point Parker Coyle's probably that first guy up. He was up in the bullpen yesterday. He was up in the bullpen on Saturday. Matter of fact, he pretty much just should start every game, just getting loose. He's going to be a guy that they use. But it is going to be fascinating for UCLA to see like how they handle this. Curtis, you mentioned at their side of it. Their ace, by the way, threw 77 pitches on Saturday, which the more I think about it, the more I really like mull over it. Arkansas making this move makes me think UCLA is probably, based on everything else they've done, maybe they're thinking about bringing back their ace tonight as well.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe so.
Also, I wanted to bring this up from Matt, which, he says, hopefully we get a decent umpire tonight, which, yeah, you always hope that. But I will say, though, regardless of, decent or whatever, that is going to play a factor into, Root. And because if it's the strike zone that we saw from the umpire against LSU, or even some of the calls that was in this UCLA LSU game where you're getting at the knees, if it's inconsistent, that's going to be extremely problematic for Zach Root. It is for any pitcher, but it seems like it really impacts Root as much as anybody.
When he gets so pissed at the umpires, dude.
Yeah, and so that can really impact him. So, yes, hopefully a decent umpire, or at the very minimum, a consistent umpire that helps out a little bit there. Just don't need to have any of those other things going on. So I did ask the question, guys. I thought this was fascinating. Just simply, do you like the fact that Zach Root is starting tonight against UCLA? Just seeing what Razorback fans said. Only 78% said yes.
Listen, it took me, y'all saw me in real time talk myself into it. I don't dislike it. I'm definitely not like upset about it or like, really going to be like, oh, come on, dude. It wouldn't have been my option. It wouldn't have been my like desired plan of going about these next 3 games. But it's hard for me to really disagree with it when you think about the situation Arkansas is in. And John, it's funny you mentioned how you were like, man, it's weird that after this game we could have a situation where we have more confidence in the pitching that should be depleted than the bats. And I keep coming back to that where I'm like, man, it's kind of crazy how this situation is playing out. And we're really like, as much as if Arkansas loses and doesn't make the title series, it's not going to be because they ran out of pitching. It's going to be because the guys that they pitched just didn't do well. And so I keep coming back to that and thinking like how I think Arkansas's in an advantageous situation. And what did you say when we were walking out of the ballpark? You were like, well, they're going to be in a great spot unless Landon Bottomsees only gets 5 outs or whatever. I think that's probably something that Dave's thinking about is like the only way we ruin our good pitching situation is if we have a starter suck and we have to piece together a game with 7 arms. I don't want that to be this game. I'd rather do that Wednesday and Thursday against LSU. Probably. It's probably what he's thinking.
Yeah. Let me ask you this question too, Andrew, real quick, because you followed the team all year long a lot closely, but like how many times has Dave or Hobbs or whoever made a bad decision with their pitching choice? Like as far as when to put somebody in or who starts, because you're never going to get perfect. But I just can't remember many times where I was like, man, Dave, getting him out then was bad, or bringing this guy in was stupid. Like I just don't really see a whole lot of times when that's happened.
Well, listen, there's certainly times in every season where a coach goes to a guy for a job and he doesn't get the job done.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: you use that term bad. There's a lot of times where David, and he said this, that he puts guys in positions, especially early in the season, to see how they handle it. For example, I remember in Arlington, Arkansas was in that game 1 against, I believe it was Kansas State, and it was a 1-1 game. He puts in Tate McGuire, who was a sophomore who had a good summer. They were kind of hoping to get Tate McGuire into that role. He ends up giving up a couple runs, doesn't go well for him. You kind of realize then, okay, he's probably not going to be one of our high leverage guys. Since then, and really the weeks after that, Tate McGuire not been a huge part of what Arkansas has been doing in the back of the bullpen. Those are lessons you learn early in the season, and so you can look back. There's probably a ton that we can look back in February, March, and even early April, and we're like, oh, what the hell? How did that happen? One that I honestly think about is the LSU game where Brute goes 6 innings, Arkansas's up 4-2. They go to Aiden Jimenez and he stinks it up. First time he had stunk all year. It's like, again, does that make that decision a bad decision just because it didn't work out? I don't know. But again, I think you just learn and kind of evaluate. And Dave always says at the end of the year, the guys kind of tell you what to do.
Mhm.
You know, whether it's, does this guy deserve to be playing every day? Should I use this pitcher in that role? By this time of year, you have a pretty good, firm understanding of what these guys are capable of. And so it's hard for me to look back and say, yeah, there was a ton of bad decisions, because I think Arkansas right now has a very good understanding of all of their arms, what their skill sets are, what situations they can use them in. And so, other than, I guess, Gackle starting, and, we could look back and say, oh, that was a bad decision.
Right.
But you see the way he threw, clearly it's not a bad decision.
Yeah, I was actually going to bring up the Gabe Gackle thing, because I'm sure people will be like, well, stupid decision to start Gabe Gackle as your ace this year. It's like, well, was it really that bad of a decision, or was it just like, hey, some guys are better in certain roles, and you got to, you don't know until you try it. You don't know until you roll them out there and see how it goes.
How many pitchers have started 3 games in a college World Series, a single college World Series? Because Root would be on track to do it if they got through to a final.
I'm trying to think. You know who might have done it?
The pedophile?
The pedophile might have done it that year. One, he had back-to-back years because he was their ace the year before, and then he came back. So, I mean, there's guys like that. But he threw game 1 against Mississippi State, lost. But then I don't know. I think they ended up what they ended up doing with him is he ended up starting game 1 of the finals, which means he wouldn't have thrown. You know who might have done it is that Kevin Abel kid who started game 3 for Oregon State, closed out game 2. He also pitched that elimination game that led him there. He might have been the one to do it, but I don't. There has to be someone who's done it, especially back in the 70s when
that's true.
Teams were like, "F it, bro, I'm starting back out again." It was like softball back then.
Well, it's like with Oregon State, because I think they played the maximum amount of games you can in the College World Series. So you would think somebody had to go out there 3 times. Somebody did at some point, but no, that's a good question. We'll get to your chats and some other things before we close up shop here with Inside Arkansas live from DJ's Dugout here in Omaha. But want to give a shout out to our friends over at BetSaracen. It's the #1 sports betting app here in the state of Arkansas, and it's not even close because they have all the great specials going on throughout all of Razorback baseball and the double R prop plays and everything. And they already got them out for the Arkansas-UCLA game tonight. So if you're looking to get on that top of that, go ahead and check it out. In fact, guys, what do you guys think that is the over-under and also the spread for Arkansas and UCLA tonight?
I bet the over-under is 9.5.
Okay.
8.5.
10.5 is the over-under. Arkansas is favored by 2.5 runs. Money line -375. So just to give those a few out there for Arkansas and UCLA. And if you want some crazy double R prop plays, which some of them can get pretty crazy, oh my good dude, this might be the most double R prop plays I've ever seen.
Let's just go through them all here.
Let's just read them all out. My goodness,
every player
gracious.
on the roster to hit a home run.
Great. Let's just look at the most. How about this one? Plus 1,600. The highest odds you get. Ryder Helfrich over 2.5 RBIs. I'm sprinkling something on that because that's not
a shot.
Yeah, and also 3-run shot, and also 2.5 RBIs over. That's not like the most absurd thing in the world.
Not crazy
for plus 1,600. Absolutely. And put it this way, guys, that has worse odds than Charles Davalon recording a single, a double, and a home run at plus 1,500.
That is kind of crazy.
So just going out there. How about this one for plus 1,100, guys? Justin Thomas over 2.5 runs scored.
JT coming. The home plate.
That is. I mean, he had 4 hits the other day and still didn't score 3 runs. Is he going to score 3 runs?
I mean,
they scored 4 runs since I got here.
Yeah,
so that's true.
Now we're asking one player to score.
Yeah.
I mean, it is interesting.
Yeah, and also Rocco Pepe, plus 900 of
just every day,
every time,
plus 900 to hit a home run. Man.
Plus 900, yeah. So either way, they got a lot.
Plus 900 getting it bad.
Just get into the run. So okay, how about this one? Just a few more, folks. Do you guys think what? Okay, they have a new unique thing is both teams to score X runs. So if both teams scored 7+ runs, so both teams getting 7 or more runs, plus 425.
How many runs do they have to score?
7 each. So Arkansas has scored at least 7. UCLA has scored at least 7.
I don't think that's happening.
It's not.
I don't. Especially now that Zach Ertz pitching, I can't imagine that happens.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I assume that's what it is. I don't think it's combined. Or maybe it is combined.
I bet it's both.
Okay, yeah, it's just worded differently, but
the
either
odds sound about right.
Well, if you thought both teams were going to score plus 2+ runs, minus 750. So if you want to put some money down on that one,
man, when Zach Ertz throws a 1-hit shutout, that's gonna suck.
Yep, absolutely. Arkansas to score in the first inning, plus 120. You feel good about
I
that?
love that, actually.
Yep. And you also have, if this game will go into an extra inning, plus 850.
I don't love that.
Yeah, this could be possible. Who do you think will have the highest scoring inning between the teams, or both?
Was Arkansas like minus 275?
Minus 105.
To have the highest scoring inning?
Yep. Where UCLA is plus 300 to have the highest scoring inning.
How did that work out? I guess is
They've got to be.
Is there a tie?
Yeah,
choice?
it's a tie. Plus 155 is a tie.
They've got to be looking at it just being like they haven't scored since they got
Yeah,
here. So
I like Arkansas minus 105.
Me
in that.
too,
I mean, all I
yeah.
got to do is have like a 3-run inning. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Well,
If that.
Arkansas total runs. So how many would you say Arkansas is going to score? I know we'll go through these, but how many?
8.
Okay, so if you think it's 8, so which would be
5.
okay. Well, if it's 8, over 7.5 runs is plus 185 for Arkansas. And you said what was it, Curtis? 5.
5.
If you want Arkansas over 4.5 runs, it's minus 260. So
Go.
I mean,
give
what
us,
are we
give us the other
watching?
ones there. Give us the other ones there.
Arkansas over 1.5 runs, minus 2,200.
Oh, dude, that's a brutal one to lay the juice on, and then Arkansas gets shut down.
Yeah. Minus 1,100 for over 2.5 runs. Minus 3.5 or over 3.5 runs is minus 500. 4.5 runs, 260. 5.5 runs, minus 150. Over 6.5 runs, plus 110. 185 for over 7.5. 8.5 plus 275. 9.5 plus 425. Over 10.5 plus 575. And if you think they're just putting it to them, over 7.5 runs plus 750.
You know what's funny is like I really don't like a lot of those ones in the middle range of like the 5, 6, 7, especially with the odds. If I were going to do it, I would bet on just like an explosion where UCLA completely like, because I mean, listen, I'm not saying that like they're going to, roll over and quit here, but like UCLA, it is very possible that whoever they start sucks and they're not able to really, they're having to piece together this game and they just end up throwing some guys that are completely depleted and just, just run out of gas. So I would be looking at like that scenario where Arkansas is able to just score 10, 11 runs on a bunch of walks and, things just get away from UCLA more than I am like laying the juice for like 5.5 or whatever and like them having to score 6. Cause I also think with it being an elimination game, they're always a lot lower scoring than I think people realize.
Also, I'm going to go ahead and go through a guarantee out there for everybody. Arkansas's first team hit tonight is going to be a home run.
Okay.
I'm feeling it. Plus 700.
Charles Davalon, leadoff nuke.
Yep.
What's a double?
Plus 185.
I like that. I wish it would have be better odds.
Yeah,
actually.
I was thinking like plus 240 or something. Okay, all right.
If you think Arkansas is going to get no hit, it's plus 10,000.
The dueling no hitters, man.
Yeah, imagine having a combined no hitter with 9 pitchers. Like UCLA.
Because that's what it would be, man.
Yeah, just inning by inning. So, but yeah, a lot of great specials there on BetSaracen, folks. So get to bet and get to winning, and it should be fascinating to see how it all turns out. But just a few minutes here left here. I did want to bring this up. This is a question. I can't remember if we talked about it on the stream or not. But John Sullivan says, when are we going to know who the home team is for this game? I've
completely lost the bit on the home team thing. But I think with it being UCLA, I think that means Arkansas is going to be
the home team, right?
Yeah, because UCLA has been home once and road once. Arkansas has been home one and road once. Therefore, nobody has like the obvious thing.
So
and
they go with
Arkansas
the higher seed. Yeah.
We think Arkansas will be the home team, but don't quote us on that.
Yeah, because the NCAA does dumb stuff.
That's our official statement.
Yep. Let's see. Also, Ozarkian said, remember we thought a good relief pitcher would pitch against LSU and Davey H. sent Gibbler the worst choice. I guess he brought that one up.
Ozarkian, I just want to ask you a question. Have you not been paying attention to the last 2 months of Razorback baseball? Because Cole Gibbler, listen, and Cole Gibbler gave up an 0-2 single in the situation you're describing, and it was very annoying, and I was annoyed by it. I couldn't believe he left that 0-2 pitch over the heart of the plate, and that sucks. But going to Cole Gibbler being the worst choice, since Easter Sunday, which was on April 20th, Cole Gibbler has made 7 appearances, and he has not allowed an earned run. He has allowed 1 earned run since Easter Sunday. That's in about 16 innings worth of work. So we're talking about an ERA of like 0.66 type of thing. He's also got like 2 strikeouts per inning during that time period. He also was the best reliever in Arkansas' Super Regional win over Tennessee. He was also dominant in the SEC tournament. He's been shoving in SEC play. He has the best strikeout rate on the team. What the hell are you talking about? How is that a bad? And it was a left-on-left matchup, and you went to the best left-handed reliever you have. How is that a bad decision? Him giving up a hit does not make that a bad decision. And even and he ended up striking out the next 3 guys that he hit or that he faced. How is that a bad decision going to Cole Gibbler, who has a sub-1 ERA for the last 2 months?
He said he's pitched good games, but they were better relief pitchers.
See, like who? Like seriously, I mean, Gackle had just thrown 6 innings. Like seriously, who is it that you're like referring to here? Like Will McIntyre, maybe? Like I don't know. Like Parker Coyle, I guess you could make an argument for, but Parker Coyle, they've been consistent going to Gibbler first and then Parker Coyle. And Parker Coyle's been great for Arkansas. He's been very consistent, but like I wouldn't say he's necessarily the the best reliever that Arkansas has.
Sure.
Yeah. My favorite thing is whenever a chat gets mentioned and then Andrew first responds with, "Let me ask you a question." It's about to be like, let me just put you in your place.
So
on
now he
this
says
thing
Carter,
right
Coyle, McIntyre. And look, I love all 3 of those young men you just listed. Dylan Carter has not pitched in a month. Will McIntyre has not pitched in a month. That doesn't mean they're not good pitchers. Hell, Arkansas is going to need them here in the next couple of days. But acting like it was like, oh, yeah, they definitely should have went to those guys for a left-on-left situation rather than Cole Gibbler. And Parker Coyle, I love Parker Coyle. I would not say he's like, I mean, he's literally just a great value Cole Gibbler is what he is. You know what I mean? From a stuff standpoint, like he's and look, like Parker Coyle, I wouldn't have been like upset if they had went to him. Hell, they're going to probably go to him today. But like acting like going to Gibbler was like this crazy move, that just tells me that you have not been paying attention to what's been going on for the last 2 months, man.
By the way, for what it's worth, I did get confirmation that Arkansas will be the home team tonight. So
hell yeah.
For what the matter, sauces have told me that at least. So yeah, it's going to be great. By the way, you guys care who wins this game? The 1 p.m. game going on right now? With Oregon State and Louisville.
Give me the Beaver.
Louisville.
No, give me the Beaver.
That's crazy. That's crazy. That
I want the Beaver this weekend.
Give me the Beaver. That's crazy.
It's going to be coastal no matter what, so I don't care.
That's true.
That's
true.
I
don't know. I kind of want I don't really know. Because I just talking about how I don't have a problem with Louisville, and am I really going to like root against them? But I don't know. I don't really care.
Are you afraid of the Beaver?
No, I ain't afraid of Beaver. I ain't afraid of Beaver.
Okay.
Like, listen, last time Arkansas faced Oregon State, Hagen Smith, right? They didn't want none of that smoke.
Exactly.
So, who's going to be doing that? But let's see. Also, student section wants to know, I'm sorry if this has been answered, but was our game going to be delayed because of the LSU-UCLA delay?
Depends on this one.
Yeah, because this game started at 1:45, was supposed to start at 1, but that's also why they have like a 5-hour difference in between games. Just in case. So,
what do they give you an hour?
You know what time they set this first pitch for?
1:43.
That's what they said. They also set the first pitch for 10:03 for the LSU win. So really it's 6:03. But yeah, currently it's scheduled for 6:03. But that could change. We'll just see how long it takes these cats to get this game done.
That's right. Well, fellas, any final thoughts? I know there's a lot of other things we were going to get into today, but hey, it kind of pushed itself. We can get into it at some other time. But any final thoughts before we roll out of here for the day? At least until tonight.
I just, do your rain dances or whatever it is you do to get this game in with as little drama as possible created by Mother Nature. Let's just play baseball.
Yep.
That's why we're here.
Ball.
Let's just play a little ball.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy. We don't want to be back here at 11:30 at night doing a not so post game show because this is postponed until tomorrow. No. Let's just play baseball tonight.
Yep.
That's my final thought. I just want a full game of baseball and a win.
Well, I thought it was crazy that they went to Cole Gibbler in that 6th inning the other day, but then I looked at it. Got 56 strikeouts in 28 innings. That's pretty good, man. So I wish I can get some of my players to play that good and get some freshmen like that, some blue chip on my team. But we'll see. We really like our running backs. Mike Washington, y'all ain't gonna believe me because he averages 3.6 a carry in his career, but he's been pretty good in spring practice.
Couldn't have said it better myself. I'm hoping that they get some games in, or at least the games on time tonight, and that's going to be a huge. I can't wait to see what Root's going to have in store for us all, and can't wait to be back here at DJ's Dugout again tomorrow talking about a win and continuing on with an Arkansas and LSU rematch. That's what I'm hoping for, what I'm feeling. But either way, bombastic post-game show is going to be happening tonight, regardless of if it's a full game or half game. We're going to find a way to make it happen, but it'll be right here at DJ's Dugouts. And we appreciate everybody who has hopped on board with us, supporting us. Appreciate all of our sponsors for making this trip possible. And it's been awesome, and we want to keep it going. We want to stay in Omaha for a few more days, so hopefully the Razorbacks allow us to do so. So that'll do it for us here at Inside Arkansas Live. For Andrew Ellis, as well as Curtis Wilkerson, I am John Neighbors. Same sports show, same sports channel tomorrow at noon. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. We'll see you tonight for the Bombastic Postgame Show. See you then.